that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-644-3169 now to get your personalized copy rushed to you today. Do you want to avoid mistakes baby boomers and seniors can make when they buy annuities? Those mistakes now could be costly later to you and your family. Call 800-644-3169. That's 800-644-3169. Employees of J.D. Mellberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-700-2844. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-700-2844. That's 1-800-700-2844. 1-800-700-2844.
As a listener to this station, you've heard a variety of companies advertising their products and services, many of them for a number of years.
I'm Walt Parker with InvestingMakesMeSick.com. I've gotten absolutely great results. No matter who's advertising, it definitely pays off. Doesn't matter what business they're in. I think they'll find it's going to be very rewarding.
My name is John Duncan, and I'm the CEO and founder of Bioscan of Los Colinas. It's simply the most effective advertising that I can do. I've advertised for the last 14 years on television, radio, and newspaper, and advertising with 660 gets the best results.
Hi, I'm Marcia West, Senior Account Manager for 660 AM The Answer. For 20 years, I've worked with companies, both big and small, to create cost-effective radio campaigns that get results. Let me do the same for you. Contact me today at mwest@ksky.com. That's mwest@ksky.com. I want to help you grow your business.
660 AM, The Answer. The Wells Report, must-hear radio on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Telephone number 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. The latest stupidity coming out of the American political left is the $15 an hour minimum wage. There are some things here that you got to keep in mind. Anyway, there is this thing, $15 an hour. And there's no real reason to be doing it, aside from the fact that there are various people who don't know diddly about economics that are wielding political power because they can. The people that are the most damaging to the American economy are leftists. I don't know why they don't spend any time learning about economics. I think there's a simple reason why they don't. Because if they knew anything about economics, they realize that their entire political philosophy is bankrupt, not just intellectually, but also fiscally. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. In the liberal paradise of California, the California Assembly has come up with this fantastic idea to raise the minimum wage in California to $15 an hour. Why? Well, they say it's because they want these people to be able to make a living wage. Well, $15 an hour, I've got news for you. $15 an hour is not a living wage, especially when the economy adjusts to a $15 an hour minimum wage. The actual buying power of dollars will equal the same buying power people had now when their wage was $7.50. It's just a question of time for the marketplace to sop up the extra money. Inflation is always wage-based. It never comes from anything else. When there's money in the marketplace will expand such as necessary to be able to sop it up. But here's what's going on. California decides to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. And they're figuring that since Los Angeles, for example, was the epicenter of apparel manufacturing, that what would end up happening is all these people that were being essentially taken advantage of, working their butts off in sweatshops for only $7.50 an hour, by golly, they'd be making something more than what they were doing, and everything would be better. Well, unfortunately, that's not exactly the case. That is not exactly the case. Oh, by the way, I forgot to do something. I forgot to tell you about, how just the other second ago I was talking about $19 trillion in debt, and nobody has gotten any bit of that money. Do you know how much money I'm talking about? Every man, woman, and child in the United States with a $19 trillion national debt should have received $57,575.75.
Did you get it?
I didn't get my $57,575. Did you get your $57,575?
We didn't.
Vicky? I mean, that's a quick 115 thou in your pocketbook. That's you two guys. For Colton and I and Susan, that's 3 times 57 grand. Did you get that money? I didn't get that money. 57 grand. And these politicians spent it. And I didn't get a dime. And neither did you. I mean, I know I'm skipping around a little bit, but $19 trillion in debt. We don't have a flag on Mars. We can't look up and look at the moon and see right there in tranquility, the ocean of tranquility, the city of Kennedy on the moon. Kennedy City, we can't see it. And it's been like, give it a character. It's been 44 years, 46 years since we stepped off the moon for the last time. No, we're not getting our money's worth from our government. Crony capitalism, this is embarrassing. It's just like this. Let me get back to what I was talking about. The liberal mecca of California decides they're going to raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour. They've got the manufacturing base. Los Angeles is the epicenter of apparel manufacturing. Buyers from across the world came to clothing factories, sample rooms, design studios. But you know what? They're not coming anymore. You know why? Because the apparel makers have outsourced to foreign competitors in places like China and Vietnam and Bangladesh and all of those places. You know why? Because they can get the shirts put together cheaper there. That's why. California's minimum wage hitting $15 an hour by 2022 is going to spur more garment makers to exit the state, along with every other manufacturing group that has entry-level positions. Last week, American Apparel, the biggest clothing maker in LA, said it might also outsource the making of some garments to another manufacturer in the U.S. that wiped out 500 local jobs. The company still employs 4,000 workers in Southern California, but as soon as they're able to export those jobs to some place where they don't have to pay $15 an hour, they're gone. The exodus has begun, said Sung-Won Song, an economist at Cal State Channel Islands and a former director of Forever 21. The garment industry is gradually shrinking, and that trend will continue. In the last decade, local apparel manufacturing has already thinned out significantly. Last year, LA County was home to 2,128 garment workers, down 33% from 2005. This according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. During that period, employment also plunged by a third to 40,500 workers. Wages, meanwhile, jumped 17%, adjusted for inflation, to $698 a week, although that can include pay for top executives, as well as bonuses, tips, and paid vacation time. Oh, and speaking of top executives, $15 an hour. Restaurant retail workers are trying to get a national minimum wage of $15 an hour. But what does Larry Merlot of CVS Health make? CVS drugstores. How about Leslie Wexner of Victoria's Secret? Howard Schultz of Starbucks? Douglas McMillan of Walmart. What are they making an hour? Any guesses? Well, let's start at the beginning. Larry Merlot of CVS Health earned $13,914 an hour. Leslie Wexner of Victoria's Secret parent L Brands brings in $13,062 an hour. Howard Schultz of Starbucks, who made $9,659 an hour. Douglas McMillan of Walmart receives $9,323 an hour. 4 retail and restaurant CEOs earned more than $9,000 an hour last fiscal year, according to a USA Today analysis of data from S&P Global Market Intelligence. The analysis includes 76 restaurants and retail companies in Standard & Poor's 1500 that have disclosed their fiscal 2015 executive pay and based on a 40-hour work week. I mean, these guys work more than 40 hours. You got to work, 60, 65 hours to be able to get this. So that cuts it down to only like $6,500 an hour. Are you flipping kidding? Remember the story that I talk about when it comes to wages and CEOs? Henry Ford said that it was ridiculous for a manufacturer to build anything that their employees could not afford. All those cars, Model A's, Model T's, Model B's, all those cars, they still do it to this day, by the way. They will finance cars on the A plan or the B plan for Ford workers so they can have cars they build. Herb Kelleher used to work for a place called Southwest Airlines. What's the biggest difference between the early days of Southwest and today? Certainly, one of the significant differences is size. We've grown enormously. And I'm frequently asked to address the question of how we've maintained the morale of our people as we've gotten bigger. What we tell people is this: you keep high morale as job one, no matter how big you get. You improve your communications. You set up a culture committee to keep the fire alive. Oh, for years and years and years, we don't just have a central culture committee, we have one at each facility across the country. I think we've been pretty successful in going from 198 people to 35,000 and keeping the esprit de corps alive. At many other companies, they give up as they get bigger. They say, we're so big now, we can't keep the joie de vivre, the effervescence in our company. Southwest has always said, the most important thing we have is our morale, and we're going to do everything that's needed to maintain it. Kelleher says when said, one of the inevitable consequences of doing what you've done for as long as you've done it is that other people copy you. Kelleher said this, I've noticed that as well. But I also think leadership by example is very important. Listen to this. Southwest has never had any disputes over our executives being paid too much because, quite frankly, we've always made sure they were underpaid. We're not afraid to show our people that we're not in it for ourselves. Let me give you an example. We negotiated a contract with our pilots in which they took a 5-year pay freeze in return for getting stock options. It wasn't part of the deal. But I, Herb Kelleher, immediately took a 5-year pay freeze too. I took that to honor what they've done, and I've turned down, listen to this, I've turned down many, many millions of dollars in salary and options because it didn't set a good example. Our officers have never received a salary increase that is larger on average than our non-contract employees have gotten. In other words, if they got a 3.5% pay increase, our officers got a 3.5% pay increase. We've always done that. I work at a company, Salem Media. One of the reasons I work at Salem Media is because real broadcasters work here. A few years ago, times were hard. They asked us to take a pay cut. Not just the owner. I think the owner actually cut his salary to like $75,000 a year. That was Ed Atzinger. Stu Epperson, the CEO. He cut his salary commensurate with everybody else's salary. Like I said, one of the reasons I work in this company is because there are real people here. If you're not working for a company where real people run the place, and by the way, I've got a few examples, okay? If you're working for CVS Health, you need to quit. Get a job at Walmart. How about Victoria's Secret? Walk away. The CEO's making $13,062 an hour. Howard Schultz of Starbucks? Unless you're hooked on that coffee, you need to walk away from that place. He made $9,659 an hour. And how about Doug McMillan of Walmart? You know, maybe we need to find another place to work. Maybe we need to find another place to shop. Because I think these guys, they've lost touch with why they do what they do. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
Would you like the security of a 30-year fixed rate mortgage refi with our lowest payment possible, all without paying closing costs? Well, Cash Call Mortgage has a 30-year rate special starting at a rate so low, our lawyer won't let us say it on the radio. So call and find out how much this 30-year rate will cut your monthly payment while still knocking down your current loan balance. And the best part of all is the rate is fixed. The lawyer's right. It's a little complicated to explain on the radio. So call 855-875-CASH to find out how it works.
What? You'll cut my payment with no fees of any kind, and my balance will still go down?
Yep. Paying an interest rate below 3% really makes a big difference. To find out how big, just call 855-875-CASH. That's 855-875-CASH to slice your monthly payment now.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, Orange, California, 92868. Equal housing lender. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. NMLS 128231. Offer for first mortgage.
That's 855-875-CASH.
QL1, this is Control. Ground crew is secure. Over. Copy that, Control. Rockets powering up. Over. QL1, this is Control. Does Rocket Mortgage require me to fill out a bunch of paperwork? Negative, Control. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans is the first on-demand mortgage machine that quickly and seamlessly imports your financial data. You can go through the entire mortgage approval process in minutes. Copy that, QL1. That is fast, like rocket fast. Do you think that's why they named it Rocket Mortgage? Over. Affirmative, Control. That's probably why they named it Rocket Mortgage. It also works on any internet-ready device, so you can get a Rocket Mortgage at any time or place you choose. Roger that, QL1. So technically speaking, you could get a Rocket Mortgage at rocket speed from inside an actual rocket? Please just press the button, Control. Over. Copy that, QL1. 3, 2, 1. Rocket Mortgage at QuickenLoans.com. Push button. Rocket Mortgage.
Rocket.
Visit for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Dude, do you hear that? What is that? That doesn't sound good.
Oh man, this isn't good at all.
Hold on. Let me see what this does. Hey, is it better?
Nope. I'm pretty sure this is the opposite of better. Wait a minute, what are we gonna do? This is awful.
Looks like you need the help of American Leak Detection.
American Leak Detection.
Oh, man, it's Will Nell with American Leak Detection.
Save us!
No worries, guys. American Leak Detection has been around for more than 25 years, detecting and repairing hidden leaks in your home. Plus, we do all this without cutting huge holes in your wall.
Thanks, American Leak Detection.
American Leak Detection. Leak detection without destruction.
Just go to alddfw.com next time to get a hold of us. It's much easier.
American Leak Detection.
I used to love wearing dresses and shorts. Then I started getting spider veins, and even worse, those embarrassing, bulging, varicose veins. For a while, I covered up my legs, but then I discovered Vein Clinics of America.
Vein Clinics of America is the oldest, largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. And for 35 years, they've been the leading expert in the treatment of vein disease. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring the natural beauty of your legs in as little as an hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by your insurance.
My legs look great and feel great. I even love wearing dresses and shorts again.
Make sure your legs look and feel their best for spring. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation to find out how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call 800-375-4806. That's 800-375-4806. 800-375-4806.
Do you have low back or neck pain? Does it run down your arms or your legs? Do you have a bulging or herniated disc degeneration, or spinal arthritis? Even worse, have you been told you need back surgery or injections? If you answered yes, then please listen to what I have to say. My name is Dr. Chad Glines, DC, at Genesis Back and Neck, and I use the most advanced spinal decompression system available, the DRX 9000, to correct back problems just like yours. We don't use addictive drugs, and we don't use any type of dangerous invasive surgery for these problems. Spinal decompression is safe, FDA cleared, and it's not painful, and has about an 86% success rate. We accept most insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. You will sit down and visit with me personally until I've answered all of your questions. And if you're a candidate for decompression, you can try out the treatment all at no charge to you. So if you're ready to not hurt anymore and don't want to have surgery, call me at 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922, or online at mylowback.com.
660 AM The Answer. 660 AMTheAnswer.com. The Wells Report is on 660 AM The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. We are live on YouTube Live Events. You go to YouTube Live Events and type in The Wells Report, we'll pop right up. And you'll be able to see me resplendent in my Texas State Guard polo shirt. I start my day by watching, speaking of television shows, about radio shows, I start my day by watching The Dan Patrick Show, because it's a great way to start your day. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's great. It's on NBC Sports Channel and DirecTV. It's fantastic. Anyway, it was not on today because of the Boston Marathon, and I groused and whined and moaned and groaned because the Boston Marathon is on. Boston Marathon is easily perhaps the most boring sporting event in the history of sporting events. And then I realized just how wrong I was because of a guy named Patrick Downs. The last time I saw Patrick Downs, he was lying on the sidewalk, feet away from an exploded pressure cooker bomb, with his lower leg missing. All you could see was his tibia sticking out of his knee, and he was holding it, trying to keep the blood flow from overwhelming him. He ran the Boston Marathon on a blade today in 5 hours, 56 minutes, 46 seconds. God bless Patrick Downs and everybody who ran in the Boston Marathon again. This is the Wells Report.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy here, host of the Big Boat and Outdoor Show, sponsored by DallasBoatsForSale.com. Let me break it down for you. We talk about boats and boating, boat ramps, marinas, lakes and water levels, boat sales, sailboats, sailing, anchoring, sinking, grounding, buying, selling, and enjoying the fun out on the water. You picking up what I'm putting down? If it floats, we talk about it every Saturday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Abacus Foundation Repair. I love birthdays and anniversaries, always a time to celebrate, and they are celebrating 15 years at Abacus Foundation Repair, 15 years of serving North Texas. Now, this celebration is about to come to an end. People have been enjoying it too. You know what they've done? $1,000 off any foundation job with 10 or more pilings. And these are no ordinary pilings. We're talking about Millennium composite pilings for the strongest foundation solution. So call about that $1,000 off offer at 972-406-9000. 972-406-9000. Call Abacus first if you even think you got a foundation problem. Cracks in the sheetrock, doors that stick, 972-406-9000. Work is guaranteed. Certified foundation person on site at all times. You will be taken care of. 972-406-9000 or Abacus, A-B-A-C-U-S, Abacus Foundation Repair. The Abacus, little thing you can count on. Get it? You can count on Abacus. AbacusFoundationRepair.com, 972-406-9000.
If you're over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days, I have some urgent news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. A free book to help you maximize your retirement income from PBS host and three-time author Josh Melberg has been released. This book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now because we're about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known secrets we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity. Call 800-644-3169 now to get your personalized copy rushed to you today. Do you want to avoid mistakes baby boomers and seniors can make when they buy annuities? Those mistakes now could be costly later to you and your family. Call 800-644-3169. That's 800-644-3169. Employees of J.D. Melberg Financial have the appropriate licenses for the products they offer.
660 AM The Answer. KSKY Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. The official radio station of Decision 2016. The most important election of our lifetime.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. At a primary eve rally in Buffalo, New York, GOP frontrunner Donald Trump pulled no punches.
Cruz is way down in the polls, and Kasich is not even sort of showing up. I think he's 1 for 32, and he's the governor of that state. And if I spent another 2 days, I think I would have beaten him in that state.
Trump also took aim at Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton. A Clinton victory in tomorrow's New York contest is not a guarantee.
A top advisor to Hillary Clinton privately told Fox they're confident of victory in Tuesday's New York primary, but nervous that Bernie Sanders has closed this into a tight single-digit margin, especially after Sanders had his largest rally of the entire campaign on Sunday. Over 28,000 people at Prospect Park in Brooklyn.
Fox's Ed Henry. Emmy-winning actress Doris Roberts has died. She played the meddling mom in TV's Everybody Loves Raymond. Roberts was 90. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM The Answer.
If these recent storms have given your roof a beating, call on Integrity Roofing to fix it right. Integrity Roofing Company is your trusted solution. When storms roll in, so do the fly-by-night companies. Protect yourself from these storm chasers and go with Integrity, a locally owned company who weathered these storms with you. Your home and livelihood is the most important thing you own. And because of that, you need a company with a name that you can rely on. A name like Integrity. The storms this year have already handed out their fair share of damage, and more will be on the way. So contact Integrity Roofing today for a free roof evaluation. Go to IntegrityRoofingCompany.com. That's IntegrityRoofingCompany.com. And rest assured that your roof will be repaired by a dependable, reputable, and knowledgeable professional. IntegrityRoofingCompany.com. Contact them today for your free roof evaluation before another storm comes through. Get a roof that will last and stand up to the elements. Integrity Roofing. Do it with integrity.
Mr. Ray Huffines
Serving with Texas values for over 90 years is something we do every day at family-owned and family-run Huffine.
And now at both locations of family-owned and family-run Huffine Chevrolet in Plano and Louisville, get Texas-size savings on every new Huffine Chevrolet car, truck, and SUV in stock. Plus, Huffine saves you even more with the highest cash rebates, the lowest financing available, and top dollar for your trade. In Plano, find new roads to Ray Huffine Chevrolet at Coit Road and Plano Parkway. And in Louisville, Huffine Chevrolet on I-35. For more, click to huffines.net. And remember, for award-winning sales, service, and over 90 years of Texas values, Huffines has it.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Viascan of Las Colinas. Here's March, spring around the corner. Time to spring into action for your health. There is nothing smarter that you can do than see what's going on inside your body. Do you have plaques or blockages in your heart that could be signal of a future heart attack? Do you have things going on in your body, some vital organ with a little cancer spot or two that if left undetected could grow into an inoperable mass? This is not smart. You got to find out about these things. How about stroke risk? Take a look at the carotid artery in your neck. Find out if you're at risk for a stroke. There are answers to all these questions, answers you can get affordably at Viascan of Las Colinas. 972-739-2840. 972-739-2840. The body scan that's usually $895, now $595. Stroke risk scan for just $99 more. All at 123bodyscan.com. Just Google Viascan or call 972-739-2840. 972-739-2840. Or just Google Viascan.
This is Eric Metaxas. You know I consider a college education important, but for many, leaving home to go off to college is not feasible, which is why I'm excited to tell you about Liberty University's online programs. Right now, more than 95,000 students around the world are enjoying the same quality education as Liberty's residential students in Lynchburg, Virginia. Liberty is consistently ranked among the top 10 online universities and offers hundreds of degrees. Liberty's online classes are taught in flexible, virtual classrooms by engaging and challenging professors. I know some of them. I've had them on my show. For them, teaching is more than a job, it's a calling. If you're looking for an affordable, quality college education without leaving home, check out Liberty's online programs. Just dial pound 250 on your cell and say the keywords Liberty University. Secure your education from the world's largest Christian university without leaving home. Dial pound 250 right now and say the keywords Liberty University.
And the Grammy goes to... And the American Music Award goes to...
Mr. Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Hi, we're Third Day. We're forming sort of one new band called SCC 3D.
Our sister station's doing it again. The 94.9 KLTY Concert Series welcomes Stephen Curtis Chapman with Third Day at the Verizon Theater on April 30th. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. AXS.com.
Get set to save now at your local Kubota dealer. Take command of your lawn care needs with a new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. Get commercial-grade performance and a full 4-year factory warranty at a price you can afford. Now, during our Get Set to Save sales event, get a special introductory price of $38.99 and 0 down and 0% financing for 36 months. Now through June 30th, 2016. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about costs and terms.
Visit one of the 5 Zimmer Kubota locations in Fort Worth, Gainesville, Cleburne, Decatur, or Denton.
Hey, Mom, I got your message. Do you need me to come home early?
Hi, dear. We're all doing fine. The kids haven't slowed down all day, and thanks to Blue Emu, neither have I.
But I thought you said...
Well, I tried your father's Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief Cream. It worked fast to relieve the pain in my achy muscles and joints.
Blue Emu, huh?
That's right. And it's odor-free.
Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis Relief. Beat the pain and enjoy life. Available at Walmart and Walgreens.
660 AM. The Answer. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. One of the things that annoys me about President Obama is his duplicity. He has gone on the record and said that he cannot change the law with his executive pen or his executive phone. Well, when he signed off on an executive order that, for all intents and purposes, kept 5 million Americans inside the United States, kept them from being deported. Did I say Americans? I'm sorry. Illegal immigrants. Thank you. By the way, I don't know whether you can tell, but I have a very serious cold. I don't know that it's a cold. It may be bronchitis. This was a gift that was given to me by the world's greatest executive producer last week.
Don't you do that.
What? What?
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. You know, and at the time, I was sitting there saying, wow, man, she took 3 days off because of this bronchitis. That's before I got it. And all I can say is, Vicky, God bless you. You did the right thing by staying home. And for myself, I can only say one thing. Okay, I'm all right now. So if I get something wrong every now and then, please understand that there comes a high price with all of the compounds that I have ingested in order to keep me here. I've got a fever. My face is hot. And I don't mean in a good way.
I didn't say that.
So actually, I don't know. The only person that doesn't have this, of course, is Swinney, who's standing over there. He lives with EEP. He is completely and totally healthy in every way, shape, and form. Meanwhile, persons on his right and left are dying. Where was I?
Poor baby.
Poor baby. Killing me. Where was I? Oh, yeah.
Obama.
Yes, Obama. Executive amnesty. Keeping 5 million illegal immigrants in the country. Are you applauding him getting the 5 million people in the country, or are you applauding the fact that I finally got it right?
That was wonderful.
Okay, whatever. I finally got it right. Okay. Today, the Supreme Court of the United States heard the case. In case you don't know, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled against President Obama's DACA and DAPA 5 million illegal immigrants spared deportation order, okay? And this is a divided court. In other words, there are 8 justices, whereas there would only be 9. There would be 9 if Antonin Scalia had not passed away. So it is possible for the board, for this court, to be for overturning the law and for against overturning the law, which would mean that the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals decision would stand. So that being said, the justices heard the case today and appeared to be split along ideological lines. This is an election year dispute over President Obama's bid to shield millions of undocumented immigrants from deportation and make them eligible to work in the United States. The justices' comments and questions over the course of the 90-minute arguments left the possibility of a 4-4 tie. Now, remember, they usually only argue these cases for 60 minutes. They extended it another half hour. So they talked about this for 90 minutes today. Comments by Chief Justice John Roberts helped keep a final decision in doubt, however, as he suggested a possible quick fix in a key part of the policy. In doing so, he gave possible hope to the White House and its allies, even if a split decision still appears the most likely outcome. We believe at the end of the day, even though there are only 8 justices, there will be enough justices to uphold the policies, said Senator Robert Menendez, backing the White House. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, who also was inside the court, warned, if we allow a president to make changes in the law without congressional approval, then we will end up with a perverted constitution. He is completely and totally correct. Texas is leading 26 states dominated by Republicans in challenging the programs President Obama announced in 2014 that have been put on hold by the lower courts. At issue is whether as many as 5 million illegal immigrants can be spared deportation, including those who entered the U.S. as children and parents of citizens or legal residents. The programs known as Deferred Action for Parents of American Citizens and Permanent Residents, DAPA, and Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, effectively went around the Republican-led Congress. The court is expected to decide by late June whether the efforts can move forward in the waning months of President Obama's presidency, amid a presidential campaign marked by tough Republican rhetoric over immigration. This is what the justices are trying to figure out. How much power does the president actually have? The 90-minute public session dealt mostly with a mundane question whether the states have legal authority or standing to even bring the case. The answer is they do. They've got a dog in the hunt, especially Texas. Some liberal justices rejected Texas's claim of great financial and sovereign harm by voluntarily using taxpayer dollars to subsidize driver's licenses given to undocumented workers. Those nearly 11 million unauthorized aliens are here in the shadows. They are affecting the economy whether we want them to or not, said Justice Sonia Sotomayor. The answer is, if Congress really wanted to have an economic impact, it would allot the amount of money necessary to deport them. But it hasn't. But Justice Anthony Kennedy questioned Obama's authority. That's the whole point. It's that if you've talked about discretion here, what we're doing is defining the limits of discretion. It seems to me that this is a legislative, not an executive act. This seems to me that seems to me to have it backwards. If the president is setting policy and the Congress is executing it, that's just upside down. That's a good point. That is a good point. Roche, let me speak with Roche in Midlothian. Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you. You mentioned earlier about them being split on ideological lines,
yes,
and I'm wondering if you could explain in detail, or at least briefly, on whether they, let's say their opinion is that, let's say they might have a liberal or a conservative opinion, and I'm wondering if you know if any of the justices and how many of them have ever ruled against what their personal opinion is because they knew it was what the law stated. In other words, let's say Sotomayor, she really likes such and such, but her interpretation of the law actually caused her to rule against what she preferred. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Most of the time, you never, ever know the answer to that question because judges keep it to themselves for obvious reasons of being charged with hypocrisy, for example.
Well, it would just be nice to know. I just wish somehow we could, if there's any litmus test, it should be that we don't give a rat's butt what your political leanings are. We want to know if you're faithful to the law, period.
Right. So here's the thing. Typically, the justices in any appeals court will rule based on the question of law as they see it. All right? That is the ideal. The ideal of all of this was to separate politics and justice. As you know, in our lifetimes, Roche, we have seen abuses of this and brilliant uses of this. It is ever thus. I would probably venture that at least several times in every appellate judge's life, they have ruled against their personal opinion about a particular law. based on the fact that, there are extenuating circumstances. Like, for example, one of the justices disagreeing vehemently with a law, but knowing full well that it is constitutional, which is really what the Supreme Court is supposed to be trying to determine, whether something is constitutional or not. The President of the United States, in most readings of the Constitution, does not have the executive power that President Obama has sought to impose on laws into the United States. Indeed, the executive branch power, the executive power that he wields for executive orders and so on, are meant to clarify any particular law that has been passed by Congress. You cannot, I don't care what your politics are. No single human being should have the right to cause the United States population to increase by 5 million people on his or her own authority. That's ridiculous. 5 million people, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of economic power. That's a lot of lost economic power. And you don't lose economic power in the United States without agreeing to it in a legislature, where the people who are agreeing to it or trying to pass it or trying to impose it are beholden to the people. The President of the United States, in point of fact, in this second term, not beholden to the people. That is why it seems to me that the Supreme Court simply must act. The Supreme Court must act to curtail President Obama's DACA and DAPA asserted executive authority, because he just doesn't have it. You cannot keep 5 billion people in the United States on your own personal say-so. It takes a vote from Congress. That's the way I see it. I don't see the Supreme Court of the United States ruling in favor of the Obama administration on this. I don't see John Roberts crossing the aisle to make this happen, regardless of whatever elegant legal maneuvering he happens to see. But I will tell you that these elegant legal arguments can sway the Chief Justice of the United States, whether those arguments are based in fact or just based in pure academic fancy. This is the Wells Report. Finally, a conservative phone company created to fight for conservative candidates and causes. Hi, I'm Jon-David Wells from the Wells Report. I want you to know that Big Mobile supports liberal candidates. It has been tried and true and proven over and over and over again. It's a fact. The money you pay every month gets reallocated to lefty politician causes by big cell phone mobile companies. If you don't like it, then I want you to listen to this offer from Patriot Mobile. You already know that just like your current mobile provider, Patriot Mobile offers the same nationwide talk, text, 4G LTE data and services popular with all of the other big companies' phone plans. But did you know that Patriot Mobile donates 5% of the money that you pay them strictly to conservative causes? Right now, if you call 1-800-A-PATRIOT, you'll get unlimited talks, text, and data plan with your choice of phones. Right now, you'll get an unlimited talks, text, and data plan with your choice of phones. The free iPhone, $60 a month. Free iPhone 5C, Samsung Galaxy S4, $45 a month. And the offer's only good while supplies last. Do not let liberal progressives and their phone companies defeat our conservative leaders. Who am I talking about? Let's see. Alan West come to mind. He's out of a job because of liberal cell phone companies. Contact Patriot Mobile. Contact Patriot Mobile right now. 1-800-A-PATRIOT. 1-800-272-8746. 1-800-272-8746. Go to patriotmobile.com. Tell them you heard about it on the Wells Report.
More of the Wells Report is coming up next on 660 AM. The Answer.
You need a plan as you get closer to retirement. A plan that'll take you from where you are now to the retirement that you've always dreamed about. The first step on that path is to tune into the Wealth Smart Radio Show, Sundays at 7 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. You only get to retire once, so it's really important you do it right. And your host, Reed Johnson, president of Lake Point Advisory Group, helps people retire successfully every day. So don't miss Wealth Smart every Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis. Let's talk about life after 40, a land I've occupied for a good while. Yeah, remember 32? Both age and waist size? Yep, seems like a while. Hair now vanishing where you want it and cropping up where you don't. Reading glasses? Ugh. You used to be able to see like a champ, but now you're lucky to read past a headline without holding it at arm's length. And don't get me started on text messages and restaurant menus. Now, when you head to the store for a six-pack, it's probably a six-pack of reading glasses. A pair in the car, two on the desk, some in your pocket, one by the bed, and you can never find them where you need them. You are bummed. There's nothing you can do but wait. You are not stuck with your reading glasses. Climb an Evangelista Eye Center with the corneal inlay procedure. The corneal inlay. Learn more at myinlay.com. Specially designed for over 40 reading vision. So quit complaining. Do something about it. The corneal inlay at Climb an Evangelista Eye Center. 1-800-714-2020. 1-800-714-2020. Or myinlay, my-I-N-L-A-Y, myinlay.com.
Calling all business owners. Are you running your business without being incorporated? If you answered yes, you are now eligible to incorporate in just 10 minutes. It's a quick incorporation event from Incorporate.com, designed to save small business owners from the risk of losing everything. Just call this number for your free 10-minute incorporation guide, 1-800-300-5124. If you're not incorporated, it's not just your business that can be sued, it's you too, which means you could lose everything. Your home, your car, even your life savings. That's why small business owners across the country are now scrambling to incorporate during this event. Call now for your free 10-minute incorporation guide while supplies last. 1-800-300-5124. Incorporate.com doesn't provide legal or financial advice. They just make incorporating or forming an LLC quick and easy. But hurry and call now while they're still giving these 10-minute incorporation guides away for free. Call 1-800-300-5124. That's 1-800-300-5124.
Heather, my friend, you look awesome. How do you feel?
Man, Dr. Jimmy, I feel great. I've lost weight, and it's all thanks to Fat Loss DFW. I gotta say this. This has been the easiest way I've lost weight in my entire life. I used to struggle, and I was always hungry, but not with Fat Loss DFW.
Heather, I hear this all the time, and we understand that challenge at Fat Loss DFW. I mean, come on. How on earth are you going to stick with a plan if you feel miserable?
And with Fat Loss DFW, I don't. And sometimes I even forget that I'm on a plan because I'm eating foods that I love all the time, and I'm losing the fat.
You're down how many pounds, Heather?
I'm down 36 pounds.
Oh, that's awesome to hear, Heather. And we're hearing it every single day from more people in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Listen to me. The Nutrimost system at Fat Loss DFW works. Pick up the phone right now. Dial 844-801-THIN. That's 844-801-THIN. Or go to the web and look up fatlossdfw.com.
In Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 2, God says, "Write in a book all the words I've spoken to you." Is there a story in you today? Have you ever felt urged by God to write those words in a book? Zulon Press is the largest, most experienced Christian self-publisher in the world, and they're offering a free publishing guide at christianpublishingguide.com. They've helped thousands of people just like you tell their stories and touched thousands of lives.
Share your story and find out more today at 660amtheanswer.com. Visit 660amtheanswer.com now.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. If it's important to you, we're talking about it right now on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Will SCOTUS defeat POTUS? That is the question. That is the question before the court. Millions of people, 5 million in fact, will be affected by this decision that we should have in June. Roberts and Justice Samuel Alito did not buy the argument that the program would grant undocumented immigrants a lawful presence. That's a phrase usually used by the federal government, but which John Varelli, is that his name? I'm sorry, Donald Varelli, insisted had no meaning in immigration law. That phrase, lawful presence, has caused a terrible amount of confusion in this case. We are not trying to change anybody's legal status. Roberts and Samuel Alito immediately said, no, I'm sorry. How is it possible to lawfully work in the United States without lawfully being in the United States? I'm talking about just the English language. I just don't understand that, which is a brilliant question by a brilliant jurist. The case could be decided on more narrow grounds, whether Texas even has the right to sue based on solely its prediction that it would have to spend money issuing driver's licenses to hundreds of thousands of immigrants who receive 3-year reprieves from possible deportation. The bottom line is you're going to have to issue more driver's licenses. It's going to cost more money, said General Scott Keller, Solicitor General Scott Keller. Roberts appeared to debunk the speculation that he would oppose Texas's right to bring the lawsuit within minutes of the debate getting underway, noting that the administration claims Texas does not have to issue driver's license. He said, you would sue them, wouldn't you? Obama announced the Deferred Action for Parental Americans and Lawful Permanent Residents, or DAPA, in November of 2014. It would expand the protections to more than 4 million parents who met the criteria, just as the 2012 program did for immigrants brought to the United States as children. All told, it's 5 million people. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit upheld the ruling in a 2-1 decision that President Obama's authority to implement the policy by executive action was flawed. Federal District Court Judge Andrew Hannon of Brownsville, Texas, upheld the challenge in February of 2015, blocked the program from being implemented nationwide. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed. Like I said, if it's a 4-4 vote, the decision by the Fifth Circuit will stand. And we'll see. Somebody has already come up with the notion, finally, a tied court works to the benefit of conservatives. Yes, it does. Perhaps. We'll find out in June. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. Just exactly how popular isn't Hillary Clinton? Next. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to 660 AM The Answer.
Hey, everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Abacus Foundation Repair. I love birthdays and anniversaries, always a time to celebrate, and they are celebrating 15 years at Abacus Foundation Repair, 15 years of serving North Texas. Now, this celebration is about to come to an end. People have been enjoying it, too. You know what they've done? $1,000 off any foundation job with 10 or more pilings, and these are no ordinary pilings. We're talking about Millennium composite pilings for the strongest foundation solution. So call about that $1,000 off offer at 972-406-9000. 972-406-9000. Call Abacus first if you even think you got a foundation problem. Cracks in the sheetrock, doors that stick, 972-406-9000. Work is guaranteed. Certified foundation person on site at all times. You will be taken care of. 972-406-9000 or Abacus, ABACUS, Abacus Foundation Repair. The Abacus, little thing you can count on. Get it? You can count on Abacus. AbacusFoundationRepair.com, 972-406-9000.
Would you like the security of a 30-year fixed rate mortgage refi with our lowest payment possible, all without paying closing costs? Well, Cash Call Mortgage has a 30-year rate special starting at a rate so low, our lawyer won't let us say it on the radio. So call and find out how much this 30-year rate will cut your monthly payment while still knocking down your current loan balance. And the best part of all is the rate is fixed. The lawyer's right. It's a little complicated to explain on the radio. So call 855-875-CASH to find out how it works.
What? You'll cut my payment with no fees of any kind, and my balance will still go down?
Yep. Paying an interest rate below 3% really makes a big difference. To find out how big, just call 855-875-CASH. That's 855-875-CASH to slice your monthly payment now.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. 1 City Boulevard, Orange, California, 92868. Equal housing lender. Call 855-657-9910 for licensing terms and restrictions. NMLS 128231. Offer for first mortgage.
That's 855-875-CASH.
Have you been holding out for a good deal to replace that old AC system? Well, now there's a new program you just can't pass up. I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. You may have already heard that you can save over $3,500 on a new Infinity system with Carrier's Cool Cash, but did you know that for a limited time, you can also get an additional $1,800 off from your utility provider? That's right. And when you combine these two programs, we're talking saving over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. But the utility funds are limited, and the program will end when the money runs out. Right now, we're scheduling free estimates on a first-come, first-served basis. So call now. Better yet, call 2 other companies first, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Call 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437, or visit us online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
I've been teaching organic chemistry for the last 17 years. So I'm pretty good with complex calculations. But when I started thinking about my retirement, I was pretty stumped. Luckily, I have TIAA as my financial partner. Together, we retrosynthetically analyzed my financial future, which is organic chem speak for we figured it out.
See how we're helping those who do good do well at the new TIAA.org. TIAA, created to serve, built to perform.
If you have sore joints, discover a breakthrough in joint health. Cosamin ASU. A unique patented formula, Cosamin ASU goes to work fast on a cellular level inside your joints. Its active ingredients are shown to inhibit specific enzymes that break down cartilage as you age, helping protect the joint cushioning cartilage important for comfortable activity. Try Cosamin ASU at Costco.com and other fine retailers.
Have you ever considered joining the military but stopped because you couldn't deploy to a foreign country? Believe it or not, the state of Texas has its own military force that stands alongside the Texas National Guard, the Texas Air National Guard, and serves only inside the state of Texas. It's called the Texas State Guard. I'm Tech Sergeant John Wells of the 4th Air Wing, and we're looking for you to join us. Give us a call at 877-398-8350. That's 877-398-8350. If you love Texas as much as we do, join the 4th Air Wing of the Texas State Guard.
Looking for a way for you and your family to enjoy the beautiful spring weather this weekend? Then head to the H2 Grow Spring Living Festival in Mansfield on Saturday, April 23rd. Held at the Mansfield Service Center on 620 South Wisteria from 10 to 4 p.m. Come check out do-it-yourself presentations, including one by the Dirt Doctor himself, Howard Garrett. There's no better way to celebrate spring than at the H2 Grow Festival. Crafts, kids activities, fishing derby, and even a plant sale. So come out this Saturday to the Mansfield Service Center on 620 South Wisteria for the H2 Grow Spring Living Festival.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Now, by popular demand, The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to The Wells Report. Jon-David Wells at your service. Telephone number 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. Recent activity in the presidential election campaign is taking a toll on the leading presidential candidates. Hillary Clinton has dropped to her lowest net favorable rating among Democrats since Gallup began tracking her in July. Both Ted Cruz and Donald Trump returned to their near all-time lows among Republicans. With a start at the Democrat side of the ledger, so says Gallup polling, Clinton's current net favorable ratings is plus 36 among Democrats, and Democrat-leaning independents based on 66% who gave her a favorable rating, 30% who gave her an unfavorable rating. Clinton's image has undergone ups and downs over the course of the campaign season, just as it has over her entire 25-year career in the national spotlight. But April so far has not been kind to the former Secretary of State. Her net favorable ratings have descended steadily to her current low point in the midst of a crucial stage of the primary season, which will help determine whether she emerges as a clear winner over Bernie Sanders before the Democrat National Convention in Philadelphia this July. Look, this is horrific for the Democrats. Because while this is going on, while Clinton's favorability is waning, Democrats are almost evenly divided between the party's two White House hopefuls, according to new polling. This is an NBC News Wall Street Journal national poll. Finds Clinton the favorite of 50% of Democrats, while Sanders is backed by 48%. In the same poll a month ago, Clinton led 53 to 44%. The finding echoes the results of a Fox News poll from late last week that showed Clinton with a 2-point lead. Hillary Clinton cannot shake an avowed socialist in a race for the presidency of the United States. Here's a guy that could not win an elective office in Russia today, and she can't get away from him. This, of course, is very good news for Sanders, who won 7 of the past 8 state delegate contests. There is no national primary, so the Vermont senators' challenge remains the same: how to cut into Clinton's formidable delegate edge. Well, that's going to be really tough because of what they call super delegates in the Democrat side. It's a little different in the Republican side. They can have a primary election or just award delegates. They, as we found out in Colorado. I mean, it's a mess. Hillary Clinton is unlikable. She absolutely is. She, you know, and it's so funny. One of her biggest problems is that she screeches into the microphone. And everybody tries to turn that into a male versus female thing. She just screeches into the microphone. Now, when you make that a perception problem of the people perceiving it, as opposed to a presentation problem from the person who's screeching, the person continues to screech. And oh, by the way, I don't think you probably don't know this, but I have given a Republican presidential candidate some tips on not sounding like that when he was on microphone. So much for the sexist criticism about mic technique. Okay? But what she does is when she screeches, she becomes a veritable personification of an unbalanced, radical person that's coming undone. That's why Bernie Sanders is still close. Bernie Sanders is not going to win this race. Bernie Sanders has big problems with Black Americans from one end of this country to another. And when you start talking about big problems with Americans, you need to start looking at a Democrat Party that if it's not for the fact, I know that this isn't true, but superficially it looks like half of the Democrat Party is socialist. Now that's not true. The Democrat Party knows it, but they don't have to say anything about it. Remember, they have allies in the United States media, so they can just be quiet. Because nobody's going to point out, hey, the party's got big trouble, 50% of them are communists. But for those of us who are not worried about becoming labeled as partisan because we're labeled as partisan even though it's not true, I can tell you, and I have told you, for years that it looked to me like the Democrat Party was the anti-American party. Certainly not all Democrats are anti-American, but that party is, and now we know why. Their chairman, Deborah Wasserman Schultz, can't tell you the difference between a socialist and a Democrat. That's because she doesn't know what the difference is. That's because she's a socialist. She doesn't say it. The news media doesn't report it because they don't want to essentially scare everyone in the Democrat Party to death. But I'm here to tell you, all the times that I said that there was no reason why anybody should ever elect a Democrat again are coming true. Because it looks like, to me, half of the people in the Democrat Party are leftist, anti-American thugs. The other half are progressive elitists who believe in Hillary Clinton. I want somebody to tell me what the advantage is in electing either of these two people. There's no advantage. Not that I can figure out. There's no advantage for Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders to be the president of the United States. None. All the country could do is get worse. Now, if you disagree with that, get on the telephone, 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. You explain to me how I got that wrong. But I will tell you, the Democrat Party has turned itself into an enemy of the United States. Literally an enemy of the state. The New York Times Sunday Review by Maureen Dowd. It's hard not to feel sorry for Hillary Clinton. She's hearing ghostly footsteps. She's having her inevitability challenged a second time by a moralizing senator with few accomplishments who chides her on her bad judgment on Iraq and special interest money, breezily rakes in millions in small donations online, draws tens of thousands to rock star rallies, gets more votes from young women than Hillary does. But at least last time there was a dazzling newcomer that offered the chance to break a barrier. This time, Hillary's trying to fend off a cholera, really? 74-year-old Democrat socialist. Some close to the campaign says those ghostly footsteps have made Hillary restive. Yeah. The deja vu has exasperated the last real Democrat president, Bill Clinton, who griped to an audience in New York on Friday that the young supporters of Bernie Sanders get excited because it sounds good to say, just shoot every third person on Wall Street and everything will be fine. At the Brooklyn debate, there was acrimony, cacophony, sanctimony, and baloney. Hillary gazed at Bernie, though she could hypnotize him into skedaddling. Bernie waved his index finger, flapped his hands, miming that he won't budge no matter how aggravating it is for Clinton Incorporated. Sanders flew to the Vatican that night to underscore his vision of himself as the moral candidate. Hillary headed to California, underscoring Bernie's portrayal of her as a mercenary candidate. She attended fundraisers headlined by George and Amal Clooney. Yeah, the Clooneys had fundraisers in San Francisco and at the Clooney's LA mansion that cost $33,400 per person, $353,400 for 2 seats at the head table in San Francisco, and then decried that it was ridiculous that this kind of money had to be spent on a presidential election. Well, if it's ridiculous, Clooney, then why are you doing it? Because that's what it takes. Yeah, that's what it takes. So what are you complaining about? None of the people you're hanging around with had any problem whatsoever coughing up the $353,400. It seems to me that you don't care one bit about whether or not somebody's paying 33 grand for a dinner at your place to sit there with Hillary Clinton, as much as you're worried about the political and public relations damage to your image, that you're one of the elitist progressives making all this happen. With all due respect, Mr. Clooney, which is immense, by the way, I think he's an incredibly talented guy. And he's also very serious about his Democrat leanings. There's nothing, insincere about what George Clooney is doing, except, of course, decrying the fact that all this money is just terrible. We've got to take this money out to politics in the United States. Okay, Mr. Clooney, how are you going to do that? How are you going to take the money out of it? What are you going to have? You're going to have the government pay for all the presidential candidates? What if the government doesn't like a presidential candidate? What if they're, I don't know, a Tea Party candidate? The IRS has no problem stomping all over Tea Party people. Why wouldn't the U.S. government? Oh, wait, the IRS is a part of the U.S. government. So no, the government can't pay for all of these campaigns. So what does that mean? Does that mean that nobody can charge a political campaign for any money for advertising or anything like that? But they're going to run it anyway? So for the better part of 2 years, in every presidential election cycle, the media is going to have to go without political income? You see, all these people that say, my gosh, there's just too much money in American politics, they don't want to do anything to actually solve the problem. If there's too much money, have 4 primaries instead of 40. Just 2. Just have 2 primaries, 4 primaries. And oh, by the way, if you pick up that primary idea that I keep putting on the table, then what will end up happening is that you'll have 4 Super Tuesdays, and that's it. That should cut the spending in half right there. Clinton sowed suspicion again, refusing to cough up her Wall Street speech transcripts. Sanders faltered on guns, fracking, and releasing his tax returns. He was gutsy in a New York primary to say he'd be more even-handed with Israel and Palestinians. As my colleague Tom Friedman warned, says Maureen Dowd, we can hurt Israel by loving Israel to death. Yeah, exactly. Let's condemn Israel through frank praise. Hillary alternatively tried to blame and hug the men in her life, divvying up credit in a self-serving way. After showing remorse for the 1994 crime bill, saying it had unintended consequences, she stressed that her husband was the president who actually signed it. On Libya, she noted the decision was the president's, and her desire to train and arm Syrian rebels. She recalled the president saying no, but she wrapped herself in President Obama's record on climate change, and when criticized on her super PACs, well, Obama did that too, she said. Unbelievable. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer. Coming up in just a couple of seconds, another great Hillary Clinton idea that needs to disappear as fast as we can possibly make it happen. This is the Wells Report.
This is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, and I'd like to invite you to join me for our talk show every Sunday morning. We're actually trying to convert the world to organics. We talk about the natural organic program for farming, ranching, gardening, and pest control. Also, a lot of talk about health issues for animals and people. Hope you can join us for all the fun.
Make sure to tune in to Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 to 11 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Dennis Gibbs, the boat guy here, host of the Big Boat and Outdoor Show, sponsored by DallasBoatsForSale.com. Let me break it down for you. We talk about boats and boating, boat ramps, marinas, lakes and water levels, boat sales, sailboats, sailing, anchoring, sinking, grounding, buying, selling, and enjoying the fun out on the water. You picking up what I'm putting down? If it floats, we talk about it every Saturday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friend Josh DeShong. The real estate world of Josh DeShong sells houses when others cannot. I am living proof. Lisa and I are so thrilled with Josh. He came in and sold our house with blinding speed. You want a promise. You want somebody who's going to sit down with you and say, I promise to sell your house. Most folks won't do this. Josh will. His website is getsold.net, and he is telling you your house will get sold. How does he do this? Well, you call him at the number I'm about to give you. He sits down with you and says, let's arrive at an agreed upon price and an agreed upon time frame. If that house of yours does not sell at that price in that time frame, he, Josh DeShong, simply buys your house. That's it. You're out. You're at closing. You move on. So call him and call him today. Don't waste a day. 972-325-6644. 972-325-6644. D Magazine Best Realtor 3 years in a row. I'll love him forever. Josh DeShong, getsold.net. 972-325-6644.
If you're suffering with sleep apnea, here's the breakthrough you've been dreaming about. Now you can finally travel and sleep in total comfort anywhere without having to drag around a big, bulky CPAP device. It's Transcend, the world's first portable mini CPAP device. And right now you can try Transcend and enjoy 10 nights of restful, blissful sleep absolutely risk-free. Call minicpap.com now, 1-800-900-6125. Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound, giving you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so small and so light you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom you've been dreaming about. The freedom to sleep comfortably everywhere. Call minicpap.com for your 10-night in-home trial. 1-800-900-6125. That's 1-800-900-6125.
Welcome back, summer. It's a hot one. This is Nolan Ryan. Go with the pros who know how to beat Texas heat. American Standard Air. Born and bred in Lone Star State. That's American Standard. Comfort the way you like it.
That's right, Nolan. And your trusted independent American Standard dealer is Mathis Air and Heat. Why is that? Mathis Air has been serving you and your neighbors for over 20 years. They offer 24-hour emergency service and 100% financing for 60 months and 0% interest on a new system with approved credit. So make the call today for your free in-home estimate or $49 tune-up at 972-279-4COOL. That's 972-279-4COOL. Or go to mathisair.com. That's mathisair.com. Get 0% APR for 60 months with a minimum purchase of $5,000. Call 1-888-534-6894 for details about credit costs and terms. For new accounts, the APR for purchase is 28.99%, subject to credit approval.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. You know, one of the highest compliments a company could receive is just one word: integrity. Now, it's a word we don't throw around lightly, and a word we don't just give to ourselves. Now, you have to earn the right to be labeled with the word integrity. Well, the people of DFW have spoken, and that's why there's Integrity Roofing. Now, when I want work done on my home, I obviously want it done right, but deep down, all I want is for that company to be a company that I can trust, one that's going to treat me like a human being and not a dollar sign. Now, at Integrity Roofing, well, that's the name of their game, integrity. Integrity Roofing will always be there for you as those spring and summer hailstorms approach, and to literally protect your roof right over your head. Now, Integrity Roofing wants to be the name that you trust to make sure that your home looks as good as new after any storm. I trust them. You can trust them. Go to their website, integrityroofingcompany.com. That's Integrity Roofing Company, one word.com today. And when you're looking for a roofer, there's only one name to look for, and that's Integrity. Integrity Roofing.
Saying I don't know is no longer acceptable. This is 660 AM, The Answer. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
So in 1993, then First Lady Hillary Clinton came up with this fantastic idea. A $1,000 gun tax. The U.S. territory of the North Mariana Islands imposed a $1,000 gun tax earlier this month. Yeah. Steep gun taxes, by the way, have taken hold in Cook County, Illinois, the city of Seattle, and now a U.S. territory. The administration of Governor Ralph D.L.G. Torres defended the new gun control laws, I guess last Friday, as a law that could be a role model for other U.S. states and jurisdictions facing seemingly uncontrolled and continued gun violence. What if the criminals don't pay the gun tax? What? Yeah. What if criminals don't pay the gun tax? Oh, well, then they'll be breaking the law. Uh-huh. You did notice that I said criminals. Yeah. Why would you call them criminals? Well, because they broke the law. So they're not going to break the $1,000 gun tax law? Well, yeah. Oh. So who's going to pay it? Well, law-abiding citizens, of course, who will have more or less guns because of it. Well, less guns. So people that don't care will have more guns than the people that do care, that want to follow the law? I'm getting a headache. Yeah, I figured that would be your answer. You're listening to the Wells Report.
Ready and reliable, anytime, night or day. When your plumbing's got problems or your drains are clogged, that's when you need AAA.
You feel like they're doing a promo right
you
now?
go to AAA.
About the New York primary tomorrow?
Is your home ready for spring? Is your water
You feel
system
like
ready
you're
to
doing a
handle
promo
the
right now.
demands of the Texas heat? Are you
Good
concerned
now,
about
once
high
I'm ready.
water bills heading into summer? Call Reliable Red and the professional
York
plumbers at
primary
AAA
tomorrow?
Auger Plumbing Services for a free home evaluation, where there's never a charge for coming out and no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Call AAA Auger Plumbing Services 20.
It's one of the biggest primaries of the season. It's in New York, and it's happening on the Wells Report. Next time we get together, we will bring you let me try it again. It's one of the biggest presidential primaries of the entire primary season. It's the primary of New York, both for Democrats and Republicans. Who will come out victorious? Will this be the primary that cements the lead for either Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? We'll find out, and we'll bring you all the results as soon as they become available on the next edition of the Wells Report here on 660 AM The Answer. Mark Davis, good Tuesday morning, brother. Thanks very much for letting me drop by and say hello and tell people what's coming up on the Wells Report, which will be complete wall-to-wall coverage of the New York primary. It's going to be a huge primary. This may be the last gasp of anybody not named Clinton or Trump. Will that be the case? We'll find out next time on the Wells Report. Don't miss it.
Education from the world's largest Christian university without leaving home. Dial pound 250 right now and say the keywords Liberty University.
And the Grammy goes to. And the American Music Award goes to.
Mr. Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Hi, we're Third Day. We're forming sort of one new band called SCC 3D.
Our sister station's doing it again. The 94.9 KLTY Concert Series welcomes Stephen Curtis Chapman with Third Day at the Verizon Theater on April 30th. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. AXS.com.
660 AM The Answer. KSKY Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. The official radio station of Decision 2016. The most important election of our lifetime.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. The White House has a bill that would allow the families of those killed in the 9/11 attacks to sue the government of Saudi Arabia would face a presidential veto.
The concerns that we have with Saudi Arabia can be addressed through diplomacy.
Spokesman Josh Earnest. Voting starts a little more than 7 hours from now in the critical New York primary.
Hillary Clinton goes into the New York primary Tuesday with a double-digit lead over Bernie Sanders, according to Real Clear Politics. Clinton rallied supporters at a Get Out the Vote meeting in Midtown Manhattan, promising to deliver if she becomes president on reproductive rights and equal pay for women.
Fox Business Network's Adam Shapiro. The GOP's Donald Trump holds a big lead over Ted Cruz and John Kasich. Actress Doris Roberts has died. The veteran of stage and screen. She won 4 Emmys playing the meddlesome mom in Everybody Loves Raymond. Roberts was 90. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM The Answer.
If you've ever wondered what it would be like to experience the magnificent beauty of the Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, and the beauty of the Greek island of Santorini, all while sailing pristine waters on a 5-star cruise ship, your opportunity now awaits to discover for yourself cities of antiquity and the origins of culture and faith. A journey with meaning awaits you this fall on the footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise, September 22nd through October 9th. For more information and to register, visit 660amtheanswer.com.
Is your home filled with things you want to keep but just don't have room for? Hey, it's Mark Davis. I have a solution. The beautiful storage buildings from Ulrich Barn Builders. Go to mybarns.com and see all they do, from actual barns to storage sheds to fit any home atmosphere. Craftsmanship, value, and customer service you'll love. At the Ulrich website, mybarns.com, you'll see sheds, playhouses, garages, even log cabins. They do it all to make your property beautiful as you finally get to enjoy a place for everything and everything in its place. The place for the best barns and sheds is Ulrich Barn Builders at mybarns.com. Great prices, incredible selection, warranties to guarantee years of satisfaction. 3 generations of service, a family business for over 25 years, bringing the Mennonite tradition of quality and integrity to every barn or shed they provide. Is it time for a barn raising at your place? Beautiful styling, a solution to your clutter problems. Dream, relax, and enjoy the workmanship of Ulrich Barn Builders. See all they do at mybarns.com. That's mybarns.com.
Warning: if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-700-2844. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible, without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-700-2844. That's 1-800-700-2844. 1-800-700-2844.
Are you suffering with hearing loss? Are you sick of people constantly complaining that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to speak up? Would you like to hear more clearly, but you don't want to wear a hearing aid that makes you look old? Then you need to try Listen Clear, a life-changing breakthrough precisely designed by top audio engineers to fit your ear almost invisibly. And you can adjust Listen Clear to find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And right now you can try Listen Clear absolutely free with free shipping. We'll even give you free batteries for life. So call now. 1-800-900-3142. Listen Clear is lightweight and completely hassle-free, and it's practically invisible. Call for your 100% free home trial with free shipping and free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-900-3142. That's 1-800-900-3142. 1-800-900-3142.
Hi, I'm Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing new way you can start losing weight for free right now. You've probably seen our workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. We just launched a beta trial of our new digital video platform, Beachbody On Demand. So while we're testing out this new digital video service, I'm inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. That means you can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Text the word PUSH to 313131 and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, or any of over 400 workouts for free. Now here's the catch. In return, all I ask is you let us know what you think of the service so we can make Beachbody On Demand the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text PUSH to 313131 and get started for free right now. Again, text PUSH to 313131.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day trial. Cancel anytime.
Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. Have you received a letter or personal visit from the IRS? Has the IRS garnished your paycheck or seized your bank account? If so, you need to take action now. You're a target of the most powerful collection agency in the world, and you need representation you can trust. Don't get scammed by imitators and telemarketers' high-pressure tactics. At Wall & Associates, they've developed trust with their clients clients through a free face-to-face consultation. They've saved their clients over $129 million in the past 5 years. Call 1-800-983-5313 now for your free face-to-face consultation. Ignoring your tax problem will only make it worse. Call 1-800-983-5313 to get immediate help. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has helped thousands of taxpayers, and they can help you. Call now, 1-800-983-5313. That's 1-800-983-5313.
660 AM. 660 AM. The Answer. 660 AM. TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. So Donald Trump is having some very serious issues with the Republican Party. And he's making his displeasure known. Meanwhile, he is working through his surrogates, specifically Corey Lewandowski, to dispel the notion that the Trump campaign misunderstood GOP delegate rules. And as a matter of fact, on Fox News Sunday, Lewandowski called Donald Trump the party's presumptive nominee. Okay. Okay. He then told Fox News Sunday that the Trump campaign indeed comprehends all the rules, which vary between states, and sometimes apply to a convention, not primaries or caucuses. Nevertheless, he thinks the rules are not always fair. We understand what happens. And then pointed out that Ted Cruz, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, does better in state contests where party bosses pick the delegates. That's a shot at what happened in Colorado. He said there are people out there that don't exactly have an ability to write a check to become a convention-picked delegate. Trump Cruz or Ohio Governor John Kasich will need 1,237 delegates to win the Republican Party nomination, and it looks as though that Donald Trump has a pretty good chance of getting a whole bunch of delegates tomorrow in the New York primary. So what they're saying is this. They're saying that Donald Trump can still clinch the nomination before the convention. To all the political junkies yearning for a contested Republican convention this summer, not so fast. This according to townhall.com. It's still possible for Donald Trump to clinch the nomination by the end of primaries on June 2nd. His path is narrow, it's perilous, but it's plausible. Starts with a big victory tomorrow in his home state of New York. Trump is the only candidate with a realistic chance of reaching 1,237 delegates needed to clinch the nomination before the July convention in Cleveland. His rivals, Texas Senator Ted Cruz and mysteriously Ohio Governor John Kasich, no one can figure out why he's still in the race, can only hope to stop him. If Cruz and Kasich are successful, politicos around the country will have the summer of their dreams, a convention with an uncertain outcome. I don't care. I really don't care. If Donald Trump shows up at the convention with a plurality of votes, and you can see, by the way, that based on various state rules, on the second and third ballot, he would win the delegate count. If that is indeed the case, and the Republican Party finds a way to take Donald Trump out of it, I think that a lot of people are going to come unglued. Now, the Republican Party, for its part in all of this, they say they're not changing any of the rules before the convention, but the rules can change at the convention, and we shall see. Trump would have to start doing a lot better than he has so far. He gets that chance starting tomorrow. There will be 744 delegates available yet. There are 95 delegates at stake in New York, It's important for Trump to win a big majority of them. It's not going to be easy. This, according to Town Hall again. There are 14 statewide delegates, 3 delegates in each congressional district. If a candidate gets more than 50% of the statewide vote, he gets all 14 delegates. Otherwise, he has to share them with other candidates. If the candidate gets more than 50% of the vote in a congressional district, he gets all 3 delegates. Otherwise, again, he has to share. Trump leads statewide in the most recent preference polls with right around 50%. New York is a large and diverse state. He probably won't win all the congressional districts. Let's say Trump does make it 50%, but Kasich and Cruz win 5 congressional districts. Trump will take 77 delegates on that night. That would make his running total 821. All right. On April 26th, there will be 5 states with primaries with 172 delegates at stake: Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, and Rhode Island. Pennsylvania could be trouble for Trump. The state has a unique system in which 54 delegates, 3 from each congressional district, are listed by name on the ballot, with no information for the voters to know which candidate they support. That means if Trump wins Pennsylvania, he's only guaranteed to claim 17 of the state's 71 delegates. Connecticut awards 13 delegates to the statewide winner and 3 of the winners of each congressional district for a total of 28. The New York real estate mogul needs to win his neighboring state. If he does well, he could get 22 delegates. Do you see how arcane and stupid this is? You know, this is why Donald Trump, when he gets up and says this is a corrupt process, that's why people believe him. This has the flavor of making the rules up as we go along. It's like Catch-22. It's a Joseph Heller book. I have no idea who came up with these rules and what they were thinking about when they came up with them. All I do know is that I'm going to take next presidential cycle's primary contests a lot less seriously. And I think most American voters will too, unless there's some reason for us to go out there and vote, aside from the fact that what we're doing is just opening ourselves up to being disenfranchised, frustrated, and angry. I don't think a lot of people are going to be spending time with primary voters. We'll just wait until the party shows up with yet another candidate that nobody will vote for, and we'll watch them lose another candidacy. And I don't know how many times it's going to take. They've lost, 4? 5 if you count Reagan in 76. Seriously? I don't know how this primary process got this way. And yes, I understand it's states' rights. I got it. I do. I'm a states' rights guy. Right up to the point where it's impossible to follow the flow and ebb of delegates going to a presidential candidate. There's no way for anybody to figure out how this works. And that's got to be on purpose. Again, giving credence to Donald Trump's statement, the whole process is corrupt and it's a mess. It may not be corrupt, but it is a mess. And how can you say definitively that it is not corrupt? The answer, of course, is you cannot. You can't. Anyway, on and on and on. That's just April 26th. June 7th, let's see. In May, 5 states hold contests in May. 199 delegates at stake: Indiana, Nebraska, West Virginia, Oregon, and Washington State. Cruz has a chance in those states. He does in California. June 7th, 5 states vote: California, New Jersey, South Dakota, Montana, and New Mexico. The only state that Trump can afford to lose is New Mexico, which awards 24 delegates proportionally. New Jersey, South Dakota, and Montana are winner-take-all with a total of 107 delegates. California is more complicated. 172 delegates at stake. The statewide winner only gets 13. The other 159 are awarded according to the results in individual congressional districts. Each of the state's 53 congressional districts has 3 delegates. You win the district, you get all 3. For Trump to clinch the nomination on June 7th, the last day of the primary season, he has to win a big majority of California's congressional districts. If he wins 39 districts, he gets 130 delegates on the last voting day of the primary campaign. We'll say Trump wins 242. That means his running total of 1,226 would make him 11 delegates short of the magic number going into the actual convention. Oh, but wait. Missouri has now certified the results of its March 15th primary. Trump beat Cruz by 1,965 votes. If the results survive a potential recount, Trump will win Missouri and another 12 delegates. That makes it 1,238. He needs 1,237. He's not making it easy on himself. His relentless assault on the rules that govern how Republicans choose their nominees, coming far too late to change what even defenders acknowledge is a complicated selection system. Duh. Thomas Beaumont, Steve Peoples, writing for Associated Press. Instead, his railing against a rigged process appears to be aimed at amplifying his central message to an angry electorate. America is a mess. Only Trump can clean it up. That is a very powerful statement. And it might even be true. In the Wall Street Journal last Friday, he equated the party's nomination procedures with the unfair trade, immigration, and economic policies that have also been rigged against Americans, which was a brilliant way of tying in his agenda to an answer about something else. In other words, Donald Trump is learning. He added, "Let me ask America a question. How has the system been working for you and your family? If your vote is nearly worthless, why would you take the time to cast it?" Is the question I would ask. Underlying the constant criticism, Trump's goal to rally supporters, pile up the primary season victories that would bring him 1,237 delegates to win, is a tactic that Republicans say carries real risks for the billionaire businessman. Should Trump fall short of clinching the number going into Cleveland, his rants against the party are likely to annoy the delegates, who would then decide the nominee. He's going to pit voters against the very people who make the decision about whether or not he gets the nomination. This is according to Matt Borges, chairman of the Republican Party in Ohio. If he does not arrive in Cleveland with 1,237 pledged delegates, there's no way that he gets the nomination. If he doesn't get the nomination and he's missing by 11 votes, the Republican Party will come apart. 866-660-5759, 866-660-5759. Remember, I'm a Cruz guy, but I'm also a fair guy. I believe there ought to be fair practice in all these primaries. And that means if you got a choice between a backroom deal and a bunch of voters voting, I say you go with the voters every time. What do you think? 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. And what about John Kasich? You know I'm not real fond of John Kasich. I've got another reason why I'm not fond with John Kasich, and you need to find out what that is. So stay where you are. We'll be back with more of the Wells Report on 660 AM The Answer.
Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. Have you received a letter or personal visit from the IRS? Has the IRS garnished your paycheck or seized your bank account? If so, you need to take action now. You're a target of the most powerful collection agency in the world, and you need representation you can trust. Don't get scammed by imitators and telemarketers' high-pressure tactics. At Wall & Associates, they've developed trust with their clients through a free face-to-face consultation. They've saved their clients over $129 million in the past 5 years. Call 1-800 1-800-983-5313 now for your free face-to-face consultation. Ignoring your tax problem will only make it worse. Call 1-800-983-5313 to get immediate help. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has helped thousands of taxpayers, and they can help you. Call now, 1-800-983-5313. That's 1-800-983-5313.
If you're suffering with sleep apnea, here's the breakthrough you've been dreaming about. Now you can finally travel and sleep in total comfort anywhere without having to drag around a big, bulky CPAP device. It's Transcend, the world's first portable mini CPAP device. And right now you can try Transcend and enjoy 10 nights of restful, blissful sleep absolutely risk-free. Call minicpap.com now, 1-800-900-6125. Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound, giving you the freedom to sleep in total comfort anywhere you are. For even more freedom, you can add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so small and so light, you can fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom you've been dreaming about. The freedom to sleep comfortably everywhere. Call minicpap.com for your 10-night in-home trial. 1-800-900-6125. That's 1-800-900-6125.
All right, listen up, because this is the most important thing you're going to hear all day. What if I said you could make money flipping houses without any cash, credit, or manual labor? And what if I said you could do it part-time from the comfort of your home? Sound unflippin' believable? Hi, I'm Preston Ely, and I'm going to prove it by sending you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It sells online for $19.95, but I'm giving away free copies this week. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-300-1445. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity shut off 9 times, but I figured out a simple way to make money flipping houses without even breaking a sweat. Now I'm living the good life, and so should you. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. Hands down, it's the fastest, easiest way to get started in real estate. Let me prove it. Call right now to find out how to get your free book. When they're gone, they're gone. Call 1-800-300-1445. 1-800-300-1445.
Are you ready for the vacation of a lifetime? Then get on board for the Storyteller Cruise with 660 AM, The Answer. Join us October 23rd through the 30th with Matthew West. Hello, my name is Child of the One True King. Along with pastor and Bible teacher Greg Laurie.
The highest calling of God is what God has called you to be. There is no higher thing. We're all called to do something.
Selah. Mr. Talkbox, and more. You and your family will travel aboard Holland America's New Amsterdam as we travel to Grand Turks, San Juan, St. Martin, and more. Best of all, enjoy music and inspiration from Matthew West and Pastor Greg Laurie. Space is very limited. Get details now at 660amtheanswer.com. We'll see you on the Storyteller Cruise from 660 AM, The Answer.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Good Feet. One of the reasons it's such a joy to hang out with these folks is they have such great stories of helping people who have tried other things that did not work. And getting out of foot pain is a thing of joy to behold. Ask them at Plano, Fort Worth, and Southlake, the 3 locations of Good Feet, or go to goodfeetdfw.com. Listen, as one of the good folks at Good Feet talks about what it's like to help people, to watch them come in for a solution that actually works.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue. They're searching, they're grasping at straws because they've been trying other products and they've bought something that they thought was going to help solve their problem, and it didn't.
The good people of Good Feet with solutions that are real, not the plasticky gel, one size fits most nonsense. Nope, but the sizes, the styles for men, for women. Get out of pain today. That foot pain can become back pain, hip pain, leg pain. GoodFeetDFW.com, Plano, Fort Worth, or Southlake. GoodFeetDFW.com. Check them out today.
660 AM, The Answer. 660amtheanswer.com. If it's important to you, it's on the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Thanks for your telephone call, 866-660-5759. JD in Fort Worth, welcome to the show. Hi.
Hey, buddy. Do you know where the name ballot came from?
Didn't it have something to do with small balls that they used to use, they used to toss a
They had
particular.
2 wooden boxes at the polling places. One white ball, one black ball. So you had to put a ball in one of the boxes, and everybody knew how the hell you voted.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And now, you had to be a qualified elector, not a registered voter. Registered voter is a scam.
Well, whatever. All I can tell you is that the primary voting process for both the Republican and the Democrat Party, if it stays this way, nobody's going to take part next time. It's been proven to be all it is a waste of our time. I mean, I'm not going to break my neck. I didn't say it. I'm not going to break my neck to get to a polling place for a primary again. Why? My vote doesn't count. Let me get to Diana in Dallas. Welcome to the Wells Report. Hi.
Hi, John. I just want to say, I think there should be a class action suit by people that voted in the Republican primary against the Republican National Committee and the delegates to restore our voting rights. And maybe we need to bring the United Nations over to monitor our elections.
No, we don't need to do that. Here's the way this is. In every other election except a presidential primary, this is not a problem. This is only a problem in a presidential primary. And that's because each state has its own primary rules. Now, the question is, okay, do we force the states to adopt the same rules? I don't think that's a good idea. I think
the party has to be responsible and realize they are stripping voters of their voting rights. And actually, the party will pay the price of doing this. I'm a Cruz supporter. I voted for Cruz, but I don't like what I'm hearing. And the other thing is, I don't think the leadership, the Republican leadership in the Congress or among other leaders nationwide really want a Republican president. I think they like it is.
Well,
why did they bring these other people on that could not win in previous elections?
Well, because they were doing their buddies a solid. I mean, it was like John McCain was the next guy that should be running for president because he's a solid guy who's been, venerated as a Republican stalwart. And that's why.
And they say Trump can't beat Hillary, but I wonder about these polls and how reliable they are.
They are not reliable. They are completely, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on tonight. We're going to talk about how people are watching the news media and not trusting what they see.
Well, thank you for covering this topic so thoroughly, and I just am very disappointed because I feel most people that vote, they usually vote in presidential elections.
Right. Well, and the thing about this is very simple. In most of our elections, we're the boss. Our votes are the decision maker. Well, except in primary elections where our votes are not the decision makers. In fact, they didn't even vote in Colorado this year. The party bosses just got together and said, okay, we're giving 17 delegates to Ted Cruz. I'm going, that's not the way you do things. But of course, if they keep doing it this way, if they keep disenfranchising, and it's not actually harming voting rights because you've got the right to vote, they're not stopping that. They're just not counting your vote as anything necessary. If they keep doing that, well, there's not going to be anybody voting for these things. You're listening to the Wells Report.
Have you been holding out for a good deal to replace that old AC system? Well, now there's a new program you just can't pass up. I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. You may have already heard that you can save over $3,500 on a new Infinity system with Carrier's Cool Cash, but did you know that for a limited time, you can also get an additional $1,800 off from your utility provider? That's right. And when you combine these two programs, we're talking saving over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. But the utility funds are limited, and the program will end when the money runs out. Right now, we're scheduling free estimates on a first-come, first-served basis. So call now. Better yet, call 2 other companies first and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Call 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437, or visit us online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Are you in the market for a new gun? Is there a specific brand that you're looking for? Or are you looking to buy from someone you trust and someone who has the knowledge to help you? You could get your new gun anywhere, but no place will have a selection better than Texas Gun Pros. When it comes to buying guns, Texas Gun Pros is here to help. Come in and let our guys match you with the perfect gun to meet your needs, whether it's for hunting, personal protection, or just having fun at the range. Texas Gun Pros has it. With our local inventory and vast online catalog, you have access to thousands of guns from the country's best distributors. Texas Gun Pros is the only place in North Texas that can give you the gun you want for the price you can afford. Don't miss out on the amazing selection and friendly staff at Texas Gun Pros. Stop by our North Richland Hills location or visit us on the web at TexasGunPros.com. That's TexasGunPros.com. TexasGunPros.com. And see how it feels to be a member of the Texas Gun Pros family.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus, from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, call 1-800-709-2636. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degrees, call 1-800-709-2636. That's 1-800-709-2636.
The year is not so new anymore, but your carpets can look that way with Zero Res. Hey, Mark Davis, my friends at Zero Res just gave me a fantastic carpet cleaning, and I'm offering it to you. $33 a room. $33 a room by calling 214-37-CLEAN. Then, plus 100 square feet of tile cleaning for free and a $50 gift card from Estilo Gaucho. It is pre-treated, clean, and sanitized. Best carpet cleaning ever from my friends at Zero Res. $33 a room. Call them now for the special. 214-37-CLEAN for Zero Res. 214-37-CLEAN.
Looking for a way for you and your family to enjoy the beautiful spring weather this weekend? Then head to the H2 Grow Spring Living Festival in Mansfield on Saturday, April 23rd. Held at the Mansfield Service Center on 620 South Wisteria from 10 to 4 p.m. Come check out do-it-yourself presentations, including one by the Dirt Doctor himself, Howard Garrett. There's no better way to celebrate spring than at the H2 Grow Festival. Crafts, kids activities, fishing derby, and even a plant sale. So come out this Saturday to the Mansfield Service Center on 620 South Wisteria for the H2 Grow Spring Living Festival.
Hey, it's Flo, and this is my impression of a home inspector who needs friends.
Yeah, so these studs need to be 1/4 inch further apart, give or take 1/2 inch. It's got to be just right, you know, like the coverage Progressive provides for your construction business. Otherwise, I'll have to shut you guys down. But if I do, maybe you could come out for Tuesday trivia. Fair warning, I'm kind of a know-it-all. You'll see what I mean at board game night. Hey, what's your number?
Commercial insurance that's perfect for your small business. Visit ProgressiveCommercial.com to learn more. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The 4,000 ASE certified technicians of Firestone Complete Auto Care prove a tool's only as good as the hands behind it. Firestone Complete Auto Care is now pouring Quaker State Advanced Durability Motor Oil. Stop in today and get a standard oil change for only $19.99. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Offer valid April 1st through April 30th. Most vehicles. Install new filter and refill up to 5 quarts Quaker State motor oil. An additional fee of up to $2.99 to be added for oil filter recycling. See store or drive to Firestone.com for full details.
660 AM, The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Mark Davis will appear tomorrow morning bright and early, say 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock he'll be here. And what will he be talking about? Why, here he is to say.
Hey, JD, good Monday night. Tomorrow morning, it's up to you, New York, New York. By the time we crack open the microphones at 7, real voting underway in the Empire State. Now, the tea leaves say big wins for Trump and Hillary, but can Donald Trump clear 50%, which means some extra delegates? Can Cruz edge Kasich for second place? And wouldn't it be something if Bernie Sanders, an actual New Yorker, delivered a surprise to the Queen? The latest political news plus any overnight stories we need to cover, ready to go tomorrow morning. Mark Davis Show, 7 to 10 a.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer.
I can hardly wait, Mark. Thank you very much for coming by. By the way, before we get away from Republican presidential politics, I have to talk to you about two things. Two. Thing number one. John Kasich said yesterday, people who favor laws allowing businesses to not serve gay couples need to calm down and get over their opposition to lifestyles that differ from their own. What I'd like to say is just relax, said Kasich on CNN. If you don't like what somebody's doing, pray for them. And if you feel as though someone is doing something wrong against you, can you just for a second get over it, you know? You know, he's got a point, I guess for even the most devout religious observers, you know, you can set aside your entire religion for just a moment for social convenience, right? I mean, let's take a look at, I know this is going back a while, but one of my boyhood heroes, Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax wouldn't pitch on Saturdays. You know why? Because Sandy was Jewish, and that's the Sabbath. And you don't play baseball on the Sabbath. Okay? But, let's really think about that for just a couple of seconds. I mean, if you're in a tight divisional chase, come on, Sandy, just set aside your entire 4,000-year-old religion to go out there and throw a couple of curves. How about it? Can you just get over it, Sandy? Huh? Can you just get over it? Hey, and you people that are celebrating Ramadan, yeah. Why don't you just go ahead and have yourself a nice burger? I mean, seriously. Because you get so dang grumpy when you don't eat. Your blood sugar crashes, and before you know it, I'm just going to leave that one there because, listen, I know, but look, that one's so funny. That one's so funny. Even Muslims are laughing. Okay, that was a good joke. Okay, let's just put it out there. That was a good one. All right, and if you're Muslim and you're mad, I'm just playing. Okay. Yeah, according to Kasich, just get over it. Yeah. If you think I'm being a jerk, just set aside your religion from the 7th century and just walk away from it for a couple of minutes. I mean, who cares about standards and religion and tradition and all that stuff? Kasich's comments were a reply to, that was funny. Kasich's comments were a reply to a question about his harsh reaction to Mississippi's new law that allows companies to not serve gay couples. You have to keep something in mind here, okay? No one yet that I'm aware of has actually invoked this law to be used this way. This is just what everybody who is interpreting the law say about it. There hasn't been any gay couples that haven't been served as far as I know. And oh, by the way, being as how we live in a country based on religious freedom, right? Our First Amendment to the Constitution, the number one right on the Bill of Rights. It's really okay for people to say, I don't want to take part in the celebration of your gay wedding. I'm sorry, I just don't. Go down to Samir's Falafel Lot. Maybe he'll help you. Kasich said that his first reaction as president would not be to take specific steps to stop states from passing those sorts of laws, but then he advised people on both sides to calm down before looking for a quick fix legislative answer to this complex problem. Hey, you nincompoop. Hey, Kasich, These religious freedom laws only parrot what's in the First Amendment of the Constitution. If you don't understand that, you're blowing it. There's legitimate concern for people being able to have their deeply held religious beliefs, religious liberty, he said. But there's also people who we shouldn't be discriminating against. We need to have a balance. Yeah, here's the balance. How about you don't go to a devout Christian who knows every verse in the book of Leviticus and ask him to make a wedding cake for you? How about that? Okay? I just want everybody to take a breath and calm down, because you see, trying to figure out who to legislate the balance is complicated. You keep doing do-overs because nobody gets it right. That's right. Nobody gets it right, especially you, John Kasich. I'm really looking forward to you and your extended anonymity after this election cycle. Don't wag your finger at me. Kasich is a menace, okay? John Kasich is a flipping menace. He is a moderate. He's a slimy everything for all people. He just wants people, he wants people to set aside their religious convictions. Just set aside your religious convictions, because there's some people we shouldn't discriminate against, okay? Hey, John, buzz off. You were saying?
John?
Yeah, yes.
Chill out. Relax. He's going to be your vice president regardless.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Donald Trump will never do that to me.
Yeah, like he's listening right now.
He cares.
He's too busy with
He cares what I think. He does. Donald Trump cares what I think. Even though I didn't vote for him. And even though I say once or twice a night that I didn't vote for him, he still cares what I think. No?
John Kasich is never going to leave this race.
John Kasich is a I'm just saying. Just saying. And then there's this. The 11-year-old dancing Trumps from Fisk Elementary School in Wellesley, Massachusetts, were banned from entering their talent show. One of the parents complained. 3 11-year-old boys attending Fisk Elementary School in Wellesley, Massachusetts, were forbidden by the school's administration from performing a benign, wordless, apolitical dance routine while wearing comically oversized Donald Trump heads. Christian Mattaliano, Mark Maggiacomo, and David Maggiacomo had been dubbed the Bobblehead Boys after performing a similar number last year, only then they wore masks bearing the face of the school's retiring principal. When the 3 boys became the dancing Trumps in the morning edition of the past Wednesday's talent show, at least one parent complained. This according to the Boston Globe. The Boston Globe, which led to school officials forbidding the boys from reprising the performance at Wednesday evening's talent show. Whether the complainant was offended because of pro or anti-Trump sentiments is unclear, though a similar skit performed by Wesley grade schoolers acting as Donald Trump and Marco Rubio was also nixed from the night show, apparently because a parent found it disparaging to the Republican Party.
You mean little Marco?
Yeah, little Marco, whatever. Can we, now in this particular case,
can't we all just get along?
This is not a religious thing. This is a talent show. There are no words being said. It's just a dance by kids in oversized Donald Trump heads. That's not a big deal. And as far as disparaging the Republican Party, let the kids disparage the Republican Party. It will save the Republican Party from having to do it themselves. Oh, no. No, that'll never happen. The Republican Party will never miss an opportunity to disparage itself. Just thought I'd share that with you. I have brothers and sisters in the American military. I was just in touch with one of them. Major Ethan Lowe. Major Lowe was one of the stalwart leaders at Operation Strong Safety. He ran the show in one of the sectors. And he could not have been nicer to me. He could not have been more professional. He could not have been a better officer. He was wonderful. I mean, you know, there are guys in the Texas military community that really care about the Texas State Guard. And then there are those in the Texas military community who think we're a detriment. We honor people who believe either way in the Texas State Guard because we're there, whether they like us or not. And when we're there, we help, whether they want to believe it or not. But Ethan Lowe made us feel the motto of the mission, which was one team, one fight. And he's got a lot more friends. He's got a lot more brothers and sisters than I do in this great American military. So I'm sure I'm not going to put words in his mouth or thoughts in his head. But when I found out that the U.S. agreed to deploy more than 200 additional troops to Iraq and to send Apache helicopters for the first time into the fight against Islamic State in Iraq, I immediately thought about those 200 additional troops and those helicopters. Frankly, I'd like to send 1,000 troops with those helicopters so I can make sure that the troops flying the helicopters, fueling the helicopters, taking care of the helicopters, the pilots, the munitions people, everybody were safe. Call me stupid, but I'd send a division, thanks. Not 200. The decision reflected weeks of discussion with commanders and Iraqi leaders and a decision by President Obama to increase the authorized troop level by 217 from 3,870 to 4,087. The new plan, expected for weeks, would mark the first major increase in U.S. forces in nearly a year. Last June, the Obama administration announced that hundreds of troops would be deployed to help Iraq retake Ramadi, a goal they accomplished at the end of the year. Of the additional troops, most would be Army Special Forces, who have been used all along to advise and assist the Iraqis. The remainder would include trainers, security forces for the advisors, good, and more maintenance teams for the Apaches. The Apaches are targets. And if you don't believe me, you go to YouTube and you take a look at some of the videos of American helicopters engaging Taliban forces. But make sure you haven't eaten anything recently before you do it. I understand what the president's trying to do. The president is trying to play for time. He's trying to do as little as possible so he can say, I got the guys home, as he tries to channel his wannabe 60s anti-war radical. What he needs to do is go in there and finish the war. And I really wish he'd do that instead of playing these political games that are going to get a lot of people killed. This is the Wells Report.
Hugh Hewitt wants to fight Zika virus, but wants to know where the money goes.
So he asked for $1.8 billion. I mean, I just like it broken down in $10 million increments. And they send up Dr. Anthony Fauci, God bless him, and they'll say, well, we need $100 million for vaccine research. Exactly who's doing it, which lab, and what's their track record? I mean, these are not hard questions. I'm all for giving them the money if they'll just give me a plan.
The Hugh Hewitt Show, weekday mornings at 5, right before Mark Davis at 7 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Welcome back, Summer. It's a hot one. This is Nolan Ryan. Go with the pros who know how to beat Texas heat. American Standard Air. Born and bred in the Lone Star State. That's American Standard. Comfort the way you like it.
That's right, Nolan. And your trusted independent American Standard dealer is Mathis Air and Heat. Why is that? Mathis Air has been serving you and your neighbors for over 20 years. They offer 24-hour emergency service and 100% financing for 60 months and 0% interest on a new system with approved credit. So make the call today for your free in-home estimate or $49 tune-up at 972-279-4COOL. That's 972-279-4COOL. Or go to mathisair.com. That's mathisair.com. Get 0% APR for 60 months with a minimum purchase of $5,000. Call 1-888-534-6894 for details about credit costs and terms. For new accounts, the APR for purchase is 28.99%, subject to credit approval.
I used to love wearing dresses and shorts. Then I started getting spider veins, and even worse, those embarrassing, bulging, varicose veins. For a while, I covered up my legs. But then I discovered Vein Clinics of America.
Vein Clinics of America is the oldest, largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. And for 35 years, they've been the leading expert in the treatment of vein disease. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring the natural beauty of your legs in as little as an hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by your insurance.
My legs look great and feel great. I even love wearing dresses and shorts again.
Make sure your legs look and feel their best for spring. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation to find out how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call 800-375-4806. That's 800-375-4806. 800-375-4806.
Results not typical. Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in personal or business taxes and you can't afford to pay? You have the right to tax representation. Join satisfied clients like Victoria. She owed the IRS $32,000. They accepted $300. She saved $31,700. Leroy owed $21,000. The IRS accepted $500 and he saved $20,500. Get tax representation and save too. Call 800-656-9406. Has the IRS threatened to shut down your business, freeze your bank accounts, take your home, your cars, or garnish your wages? You may qualify for special programs to stop this process. Get tax representation. The industry experts with negotiating with the IRS with an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Call today and the IRS will be contacted the same day, putting a stop to bank levies and wage garnishments. Call the tax representation hotline at 800-656-9406. 800-656-9406. That's 800-656-9406.
Dad, I'm really afraid of what's happening with the economy. There's too much civil unrest, too much terrorism, and unstable global markets. I'm tired of riding the ups and downs of the market. It reminds me of 2008. I was caught off guard then. How do I prepare for the worst now? What'll I do if the dollar collapses?
You got to stop worrying, son, and take action. It's time to think about a precious metals private storage IRA or an investment in silver with the Gold Silver Group. Like I said before, you insure your house, your car, your kids, and your life. Don't you think it's time to insure your wealth?
Call Gold Silver Group at 800-679-0870. Learn how easy it is to set up your own precious metals private storage IRA and how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. Gold Silver Group can satisfy any of your precious metals investment needs. Receive your gold and silver fully insured and privately delivered to your door. Call Gold Silver Group, 800-679-0870, 800-679-0870.
Welcome to Staples. Hey, Staples guy, I'm opening a business next door. Well, welcome to the neighborhood. You know, Staples can print custom signs and banners to help get the word out. Great, but I gotta watch every dime. We have low prices every day. And with Staples Price Match Guarantee, you can always get the lowest price. Perfect. So when's the grand opening? Yesterday. yesterday. I had no idea. Neither did anyone else.
Trust Staples for low prices every day. Staples, make more happen.
Price match good at checkout for items from retailers operating online in retail stores or products sold and shipped by Amazon. See store at staples.com for details.
If you've got questions, we've got answers. 660 AM. The Answer. The Wells Report. A daily good old-fashioned North Texas barbecue of anybody trying to take advantage of us on 660 AM. The Answer.
Not everybody in liberal Hollywood land is a crazy person. In point of fact, actor Harvey Keitel, the guy you saw in Mean Streets, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, to name a few, was recently in touch with Representative Duncan Hunter of California. It was about Sergeant First Class Charles Martland of the United States Army. I did not know that Harvey Keitel was a former Marine. When I was a young Marine, I understood we were present in order to help others who did not have the same wherewithal to protect themselves. Whomever owns the idea that decided to reprimand these two men for giving them instead of giving them a medal for their actions should be asked what the hell they would have done if it was their child in question. In case you don't know, a couple of soldiers, Martland and Quinn, Captain Daniel Quinn confronted, and according to accounts of the incident, body slammed a local police commander who allegedly raped a 12-year-old boy, had him chained to his bed as a sex slave. Martland said he and Quinn confronted the commander after confirming the allegations with village elders and others. He claims Quinn got a first-hand confession, but the confrontation turned physical when the commander just laughed it off. Harvey Keitel says, I'm a citizen of the U.S., married, a father, an actor, and former Marine. American values are on the line here, and no person I would have known would have not taken the same actions as Sergeant First Class Martland and Captain Daniel Quinn. They protected a child. That's an American value. It is. Martland needs to be back in the U.S. Army. He's a Green Beret. He did the right thing. This is the Wells Report.
The Mark Davis Show. Mark Davis Show.
It's up to you, New York. Next time we talk actual voting underway in the Empire State. The tea leaves say big wins for Donald Trump and Hillary, but can Trump clear 50%, which means some extra delegates? Can Cruz edge Kasich for second? Wouldn't it be something if Bernie Sanders delivered a surprise to the Queen? The latest political news plus any overnight stories we need to cover on our Tuesday show.
The Mark Davis Show. Weekday mornings at 7, right before Mike Gallagher at 10 on 660 AM. The Answer.
Okay, we're here at creditrepair.com, the most recognized name in the industry for resolving credit report issues and getting those scores up. With me, I got Aaron. Aaron, there's a lot going on here today.
That's right, Justin. Last year alone, we had over 500,000 calls from people needing help with improving their credit reports.
And no wonder. What you're doing works, right?
It sure does. Our proven process actually can help remove those unfair or inaccurate items from your credit report. And on average, people who have used our service have seen significant improvement in their credit scores month after month.
So when it comes to getting things in life that you really want, like a home, car, or even a new job, the first thing lenders usually look at is credit. So don't let a low credit score hold you back. Call creditrepair.com today. And so what happens when they call?
Well, when you call, we're actually going to give you a free credit report, a free credit score, and a free evaluation to tell you what's going on right over the phone.
Call creditrepair.com at 800-231-1735. That's 800-231-1735. 800-231-1735.
Hey, it's Mark Davis for my friends at Good Feet. I've described the many ways the right arch supports can help. Look, for some people, foot pain isn't just an inconvenience. It's a threat to the very work they do.
A construction guy comes in and told me, I'm afraid I'm going to get fired. My feet hurt so bad. I can't do what I need to do at work. You got to help me. It's unbelievable how quickly the product changes some things for some people.
If you're one of those people with foot pain affecting your livelihood, real help is here in all 3 locations of Good Feet: Plano, Fort Worth, and Southlake. The adventure begins at goodfeetdfw.com, goodfeetdfw.com, where you can get out of pain today. If you're working out a lot, you want to avoid foot pain, arch support means everything. Men, women, all the shapes and sizes and styles you need from Good Feet. Again, they are in Plano, Fort Worth, and Southlake. Check them out at goodfeetdfw.com. That's goodfeetdfw.com. It's America's #1 arch support. Goodfeetdfw.com.
660 AM The Answer. KSKY Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. The official radio station of Decision 2016. The most important election of our lifetime.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. Aftershocks adding to the difficulty as rescuers try and pull survivors from the rubble of buildings in Ecuador. More than 400 now confirmed dead following Saturday's 7.8 magnitude quake. Candidates making their final push to New York voters ahead of Tuesday's primary there. Donald Trump taking swipes at his rivals Ted Cruz and John Kasich.
Cruz is way down in the polls, and Kasich is not even sort of showing up. I think he's 1 for 32, and he's the governor of that state.
Poll showing Hillary Clinton with an edge over Bernie Sanders. Everybody loves Raymond star Doris Roberts has died.
You love him, you hate him. He disgusts you. Look how he eats.
A spokesperson saying Roberts died overnight Monday in her sleep in L.A. She played the meddling mother to Ray Romano's character in the CBS sitcom. She was 90. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM The Answer.
This is Michael Medved for townhall.com. Many sources still cite the long discredited, utterly bogus statistic that half of all marriages end in divorce. But the Washington Post recently reported on analysis by flowing data that once again exposes the big lie. Among all Americans, nearly 2/3 of marriages last until one of the partners dies. There has never been a 50% divorce rate, and the rates of divorce have steadily declined since 1981. With close to half of Americans now going to college, it's significant to note that anyone with a bachelor's degree will stand a 72% chance of remaining married till death. Interestingly, both Hispanics and Asians have significantly lower divorce rates than whites, presumably because of the emphasis on extended family. Among Asians, an amazing 83% who marry will never divorce, sending an important message that marital breakup always has elements of choice and shouldn't be viewed as inevitable. I'm Michael Medved.
Hey, it's Mark Davis from my friend Josh DeShong. The real estate world of Josh DeShong sells houses when others cannot. I am living proof. Lisa and I are so thrilled with Josh. He came in and sold our house with blinding speed. You want a promise. You want somebody who's going to sit down with you and say, I promise to sell your house. Most folks won't do this. Josh will. His website is getsold.net, and he is telling you your house will get sold. How does he do this? Well, you call him at the number I'm about to give you. He sits down with you and says, let's arrive at an agreed upon price and an agreed upon time frame. If that house of yours does not sell at that price in that time frame, he, Josh DeShong, simply buys your house. That's it. You're out. You're at closing. You move on. So call him and call him today. Don't waste a day. 972-325-6644. 972-325-6644. D Magazine Best Realtor 3 years in a row. I'll love him forever. Josh DeShong, getsold.net. 972-325-6644.
If these recent storms have given your roof a beating, call on Integrity Roofing to fix it right. Integrity Roofing Company is your trusted solution. When storms roll in, so do the fly-by-night companies. Protect yourself from these storm chasers and go with Integrity, a locally owned company who weathered these storms with you. Your home and livelihood is the most important thing you own, and because of that, you need a company with a name that you can rely on. A name like Integrity. The storms this year have already handed out their fair share of damage, and more will be on the way. So contact Integrity Roofing today for a free roof evaluation. Go to integrityroofingcompany.com. That's integrityroofingcompany.com. And rest assured that your roof will be repaired by a dependable, reputable, and knowledgeable professional. integrityroofingcompany.com. Contact them today for your free roof evaluation before another storm comes through. Get a roof that will last and stand up to the elements. Integrity Roofing. Do it with integrity.
Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. Have you received a letter or personal visit from the IRS? Has the IRS garnished your paycheck or seized your bank account? If so, you need to take action now. You're a target of the most powerful collection agency in the world, and you need representation you can trust. Don't get scammed by imitators and telemarketers' high-pressure tactics. At Wall & Associates, they've developed trust with their clients through a free face-to-face consultation. They've saved their clients over $129 million in the past 5 years. Call 1-800 1-800-983-5313 now for your free face-to-face consultation. Ignoring your tax problem will only make it worse. Call 1-800-983-5313 to get immediate help. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has helped thousands of taxpayers, and they can help you. Call now, 1-800-983-5313. That's 1-800-983-5313.
Have you been holding out for a good deal to replace that old AC system? Well, now there's a new program you just can't pass up. I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. You may have already heard that you can save over $3,500 on a new Infinity system with Carrier's Cool Cash, but did you know that for a limited time, you can also get an additional $1,800 off from your utility provider? That's right. And when you combine these two programs, we're talking saving over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. But the utility funds are limited, and the program will end when the money runs out. Right now, we're scheduling free estimates on a first-come, first-served basis. So call now. Better yet, call 2 other companies first, and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Call 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437, or visit us online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
Who uses stem cell therapy to relieve pain? Weekend athletes, active people who like to run, play sports, or play with their grandkids, and even NFL athletes. Stem cell therapy is an innovative way to use your body's own stem cells to treat chronic painful problems. And now this pain-relieving therapy is available at Premier Stem Cell Institute in Dallas. For information, visit premierstemcellinstitute.com or call 866-647-9405. That's 866-647-9405.
660 AM, The Answer. 660 AM, TheAnswer.com. Is anybody out there paying attention to what's going on in this country, in this state, and in this city? We know one man who is. You got questions? He's got answers. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number is 866-660-5759. 866-660-5759. The Wells Report exists because I discovered that I was participating in the dumbing down of America. I discovered this on the night of September 11th, 2001. I was on the air for 5 hours that night. And I heard my neighbors and my fellow Americans and all kinds of experts talk to me about the new age that our country had embarked in. And people were crying and people were swearing and people were infuriated and scared and all of it. That was the first show of the Wells Report. I stopped doing the Jon-David Wells show because of that day. I started doing a news broadcast. And people told me that it was going to fail, and they were wrong. Because I knew then what I know now. That the American media is going to screw itself up to the point of no return if it doesn't start doing the news. And I wasn't going to take part in not doing the news. I said to myself, I'm just going to tell people what's going on. I didn't care whose political ox got gored. I was going to tell the truth. And I've done it ever since. I knew that as I did this broadcast, that eventually people would realize that there was one show that they could always depend on for the news, and that would be this one. And I'm beginning to get that. I'm getting that from people on my social media. This woman who asked me for more intellectual rigor and get deeper into the project and so on and so forth, said, look, when I really need the news, I listen to your show. That's got to say something. Yes, it does. Because you know it. When the crap hits the fan, I'm going to be here with the news. Not what should have happened, not what might have happened, not what the report is so that the president doesn't look stupid, not what the report is so that the Republicans don't look stupid, but the news. Part of me, unfortunately, knows that given the right circumstances, you're not going to hear the real news until 8 o'clock when I come on. 8:06 to be exact. Because it's what I want when I turn on the radio. I want to hear the news. I don't want to hear what people think. I don't want to hear what you should think. I want to hear what the news is so I can come up with what I think as a listener. And then if I feel welcome, I'll share that with the person on the air, which is how I hope you feel when you called this broadcast. But it still hurts me and it still kills me to think that the incredible, constitutionally based institution that I have spent my entire professional life in, the American media, that the trust in that institution is being eroded by perceptions of inaccuracy and bias, fueled in part by America's skepticism about what they read on social media. This, according to Associated Press. Now, you have to remember something. Even this story about how the American people are turning away from the American media because they're not getting the news. Even then, they're trying to blame social media for their problems. There is no problem with social media. Social media is where people who don't know go to try to find answers from people who do. Because the people who do know aren't reporting the news because they don't want to embarrass their political buddies. Listen to this, 6% of people say they have a lot of confidence in the American media. That puts the news media about equal to Congress and well below the public's view of other institutions. That is bad, especially when you consider that this is a presidential election year. I have said that the American people lose their collective minds in the run-up to a presidential election. And you know who's leading the way right now in losing our collective minds? The United States media. The only media in the entire world empowered to tell the truth by the founding documents of the government of the country in which they work. And they give it away like it's nothing. % of people say they have a lot of confidence in the media. Putting the news industry about equal to Congress, well below the public's view of other institutions. In this presidential campaign year, Democrats were more likely to trust the news media than Republicans or independents. Excuse me. Trust today goes beyond the traditional journalistic principles of accuracy, balance, and fairness. Carol Feldman and Emily Swanson wrote this, faced with ever-increasing sources of information, Americans also are more likely to rely on news that is up to date, concise, and cites expert sources or documents, according to a study by the Media Insight Project. This is a partnership of the Associated Press, the NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, and the American Press Institute. They want to be able to navigate the news app or website easily and quickly without having to wade through intrusive or annoying ads. The skill set the journalists have to master is bigger, said Tom Rosenthal, executive director of the American Press Institute. That's because the expectations of news consumers have increased. Let's put it this way. It's my business to spend more time with the news than it is for you to spend time with the news. This is my job. And the Wells Report is a collection of 8 stories, the biggest stories of the day, reported on truthfully, concisely, but comprehensively. Do we talk about what those stories mean? Of course we do. Are there opinions? Yes, there are opinions, yours and mine. Neither more important than the other. This is a discussion. The objective is to come away from this discussion knowing more, both from a standpoint of what the facts are and what people think of those facts. That's what you're supposed to take away from this radio broadcast. That's what I think you should take away from every news broadcast. Not somebody holding court, but someone holding a town hall. That's why what you think is important to what you hear on this broadcast. Critically important, in fact. The poll shows that accuracy is the most important component of trust. Nearly 90% of Americans say it's extremely or very important that the media get their facts correct, according to the study. 4 in 10 say they can remember a specific incident that eroded their confidence in the media. Most often one that dealt with accuracy or a perception that was one-sided. We are not omnipotent. We make mistakes. But when we make a mistake on the Wells Report, it's a damn bad day. It happens. It happens to everybody. But because we bring the humility that's so necessary in bringing news, I believe that we are able to withstand those mistakes. We also completely and totally correct them when we find out we're wrong. Whether we figure out that we're wrong, Vicky is usually the one that does that, or whether you tell me I'm wrong, we get it right before the show's over. I don't claim to be perfect. I claim to be accurate. I don't claim to be incapable of error. I claim to be humble when someone catches me making a mistake. Because the overriding need is to make sure that you get the right information. That's it. And that's what these people are telling the mainstream media. Now, are they paying attention? Probably not. 90% of Americans say it's extremely or very important that they get their facts correct. The news media has been hit by a series of blunders on high-profile stories, ranging from the Supreme Court's 2012 ruling on President Barack Obama's health care law to the Boston Marathon bombing that helped feed negative perceptions of the media. In 2014, Rolling Stone had to retract a vivid report about an alleged gang rape at a fraternity party in the University of Virginia. The Columbia Graduate School of Journalism, asked by Rolling Stone to investigate after questions were raised about the veracity of the story, called it an avoidable journalistic failure, and another shock to journalism's credibility amid head-swiveling change in the media industry. The most important thing that news organizations can do is be accurate, and while we know that's a high value, the study reinforces that, said Margaret Sullivan, public editor of the New York Times. Even if it goes against the competitive push to be first, perhaps there has to be a willingness to wait a little bit to get it right. Do you really think so, Ms. Sullivan? Are you just coming to this realization, ma'am? This is the Wells Report.
Hey everybody, Mark Davis for my friends at Abacus Foundation Repair. I love birthdays and anniversaries, always a time to celebrate, and they are celebrating 15 years at Abacus Foundation Repair. 15 years of serving North Texas. Now, this celebration is about to come to an end. People have been enjoying it too. You know what they've done? $1,000 off any foundation job with 10 or more pilings. And these are no ordinary pilings. We're talking about Millennium composite pilings for the strongest foundation solution. So call about that $1,000 off offer at 972-406-9000. 972-406-9000. Call Abacus first if you even think you got a foundation problem. Cracks in the sheetrock, doors that stick, 972-406-9000. Work is guaranteed. Certified foundation person on site at all times. You will be taken care of. 972-406-9000 or Abacus, A-B-A-C-U-S, Abacus Foundation Repair. The Abacus, little thing you can count on. Get it? You can count on Abacus. AbacusFoundationRepair.com, 972-406-9000.
Hi, I'm Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing new way you can start losing weight for free right now. You've probably seen our workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. We just launched a beta trial of our new digital video platform, Beachbody On Demand. So while we're testing out this new digital video service, I'm inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. That means you can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Text the word PUSH to 313131 and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, or any of over 400 workouts for free. Here's the catch. In return, all I ask is you let us know what you think of the service so we can make Beachbody On Demand the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text PUSH to 313131 and get started for free right now. Again, text PUSH to 313131.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day trial. Cancel anytime. Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-1902. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-1902. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-1902. 1-800-400-1902.
This is Eric Metaxas. You know I consider a college education important, but for many, leaving home to go off to college is not feasible, which is why I'm excited to tell you about Liberty University's online programs. Right now, more than 95,000 students around the world are enjoying the same quality education as Liberty's residential students in Lynchburg, Virginia. Liberty is consistently ranked among the top 10 online universities and offers hundreds of degrees. Liberty's online classes are taught in flexible, virtual classrooms by engaging and challenging professors. I know some of them. I've had them on my show. For them, teaching is more than a job, it's a calling. If you're looking for an affordable, quality college education without leaving home, check out Liberty's online programs. Just dial #250 on your cell and say the keywords Liberty University. Secure your education from the world's largest Christian university without leaving home. Dial pound 250 right now and say the keywords Liberty University.
This is Nolan Ryan for American Standard Air. Beat the heat with high-quality, dependable home comfort. Technology fighting Mother Nature. It's serious. American Standard. Comfort the way you like it.
Nolan's right, and North Texas Air can help. With our mild Texas winter, chances are good we're in for a long, hot summer. So, North Texas Air is offering an $89 comprehensive preventative maintenance spring special to make sure your air conditioner is ready for the long, hot Texas summer. Or if it's time to replace your old AC system, North Texas Air can help with a new energy-efficient system. Special financing is available, subject to credit approval. Call North Texas Air, your independent American Standard Air dealer, for details at 972-535-4858.
And remember, all new systems from North Texas Air come with a lifetime labor and workmanship warranty. For fast service, call North Texas Air at 972-535-4858. That's 972-535-4858. Or visit northtxair.com.
You can listen on the go. Find us on iHeartRadio. 660 AM. The Answer. Only for Texas. This is the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM. The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Reports. My name is Jon-David Wells. Our telephone number 866-660-5759. When it comes to American media, readers are also looking for balance. Again, this is the Associated Press discussing research information that shows that only 6% of Americans believe that they should have confidence in the media. It's terrible. It's the worst I've ever seen. They're on par, the American media is on par with Congress. When was the last time you thought of anybody in Congress as the most trusted man in America? Readers are also looking for balance. Are there enough sources so they can get a rounded picture of what they're reading? They want transparency too. Tell me what you don't know. Tell me how you're going about reporting the story. African Americans, Hispanics, and people following stories about crime and public safety are particularly likely to say it's very important to see their communities and their people who looked like them represented in reporting. Sullivan said maximizing reader trust is both good journalism and good business. For news organizations that want to be taken seriously, there's real opportunity here and real help. That's propaganda, by the way. That's somebody's idea of what should be done based on the information that they're reporting. That isn't necessarily what the people think. That's why they gave it to somebody else to report as a quote. 6 in 10 Americans watch, read, or hear news several times a day, as computers, smartphones, and tablets make it easier for people to follow the news on an on-demand basis. A majority of people get news from social media, most frequently by far from Facebook. Facebook is a place where everyone is, so you're not necessarily looking for news, but you're getting it. Yet only 12% of those who use Facebook say they have a lot of trust in the news and information they see there. True. Twitter attracts smaller numbers for news than Facebook. About 18% have a good deal of trust in what they read there. Rosenthal said other people who use social media are hunting pretty carefully for cues and deciding whether they click on an item or read more. The important factor is in determining trust whether or not they know the original source of the story. Regardless of what digital site people go to for news, they don't want to be sidetracked by ads that slow load time and impede navigation. Publishers, therefore, have to balance the demands of advertisers and the needs of their audience, who might leave the site if they find the experience frustrating, of course. In traditional print journalism, the ads were a part of the reason you wanted to leaf through the paper. I think they can actually be less unpleasant than they are now, but I also feel strongly they have to be labeled clearly as ads. True. The poll of 2014 adults was conducted February 18th through March 21st with funding from the American Press Institute. Used a sample drawn from NORC's probability-based AmeriSpeak panel which is designed to be representative of the U.S. population. The margin of sampling error for all respondents is plus or minus 2.9 percentage points. Pretty good. Pretty good. So the Associated Press reports that the news is in big, big trouble because it isn't the news until they get their crap together. There is the Wells Report. I'm Jon-David Wells. This is 660 AM The Answer.
This is Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, and I'd like to invite you to join me for our talk show every Sunday morning. We're actually trying to convert the world to organics. We talk about the natural organic program for farming, ranching, gardening, and pest control. Also, a lot of talk about health issues for animals and people. Hope you can join us for all the fun.
Make sure to tune in to Howard Garrett, the Dirt Doctor, every Sunday morning from 8 to 11 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Listen to what Dave Ryan says about Andro 400.
Andro 400, I really love it. It's amazing to me that I feel so good. I've lost 50 pounds. I was a size 38 waist. I've gone down to a 32 waist. My mood has changed. I don't get stressed out. It gave me so much more energy just to walk, energy to play sports. Everything is starting to work again. It feels like I'm 25. My wife is happy. I'm so happy. I'm just a completely different man. I'm taking this stuff to the grave with me.
Men, have you lost energy and gained belly fat? Are you feeling stressed out? Fight back with Andro 400, the safe, natural, and inexpensive way to increase your testosterone. For over a decade, Andro 400 has helped men lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel 20 years younger. Go to andro400.com, andro400.com, or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Dad, I'm really afraid of what's happening with the economy. There's too much civil unrest, too much terrorism, and unstable global markets. I'm tired of riding the ups and downs of the market. It reminds me of 2008. I was caught off guard then. How do I prepare for the worst now? What'll I do if the dollar collapses?
You got to stop worrying, son, and take action. It's time to think about a precious metals private storage IRA or an investment in silver with the Gold Silver Group. Like I said before, you insure your house, your car, your kids, and your life. Don't you think it's time to insure your wealth?
Call Gold Silver Group at 800-679-0870. Learn how easy it is to set up your own precious metals private storage IRA and how you can qualify for up to $700 in free silver. Gold Silver Group can satisfy any of your precious metals investment needs. Receive your gold and silver fully insured and privately delivered to your door. Call Gold Silver Group, 800-679-0870, 800-679-0870.
It's a new year, a new you, and new open carry laws here in the great state of Texas. The last few months have shown us that the world can be a dangerous place, but there are some stores that are here to make sure you are safe. At Texas Gun Pros, we like to make gun safety, gun education, and gun buying a non-intimidating experience. That way, you can focus on how you can protect yourself and your family in 2016. You don't want to be talked down to. You just want to exercise your Second Amendment right. At Texas Gun Pros, we want to help you regardless of your experience level. From beginning handgun classes to the new license to carry, our professionals will work with you at your level to accomplish your training goals. You live in a state that focuses on your individual safety, so why not go to the gun pros of that state? Texas Gun Pros. Visit us on the web at texasgunpros.com or stop by our facility at 5121 Davis Boulevard in North Richland Hills. That's texasgunpros.com.
How much of your life are you losing because of pain? I'm Dr. Chad Glines, DC at Genesis Back and Neck, and I really do want to give you your life back.
Hi, my name is Brenda. When I was at the most pain, I had been to 3 surgeons and 3 neurologists, and they told me that I could have a fulfilled life out of my wheelchair. When you have 3 doctors tell you you will never walk again, I had just about given up. He says, I'm pretty sure I can get you out of that wheelchair. I went, my first appointment was May 11th. On May 30th, I walked into the office on my own. No surgery, and it was amazing. If you're in any pain, please give Dr. Chad the chance to get you out of pain and to get you back on a normal life.
That just blesses me to hear that. At Genesis, we accept most major insurances, and your first visit will be at no charge. Call me. 817-328-1922. That's 817-328-1922 or online at genesisback.com.
And the Grammy goes to. And the American Music Award goes to.
Mr. Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Hi, we're Third Day.
We're forming sort of one new band called SCC 3D.
Our sister station's doing it again. The 94.9 KLTY concert series welcomes Stephen Curtis Chapman with Third Day at the Verizon Theater on April 30th. Get your tickets right now at AXS.com. AXS.com.
Dallas, Fort Worth's home for stimulating talk. 660 AM, The Answer. You're hearing tomorrow's front page on the Wells Report with Jon-David Wells on 660 AM, The Answer.
You are listening to the Wells Report. My name is Jon-David Wells. As we were discussing moments ago, the American media is down to 6% of the American people believing what they say, believing that they're trustworthy. It's horrendous. The reason that they're down to 6%, about the same level as Congress, is because of stuff like this. Stuff as reported by Valerie Richardson in the pages of the Washington Times. Listen to this. In the hours before they took the stage for a March 29th press conference, Democrat attorneys general received a secret briefing from two top environmentalists on pursuing climate change dissenters through the justice process. In other words, people who disagree with the climate change agenda, perhaps being cast in the role of criminals by Democrat attorneys general at the urging of two top environmentalists. Peter Frumhoff of the Union of Concerned Scientists and the Climate Accountability Institute's Mats Pawa spent 45 minutes each providing talking points behind the scenes on the imperative of taking action now and climate change litigation. This according to a cache of emails released over the weekend by the Free Market Energy and Environmental Legal Institute. For climate change groups, the New York press event was the culmination of 4 years of planning and advocacy in support of an explosive proposition. Listen to this. Using the legal system to link fossil fuel firms and others challenging the catastrophic global warming consensus to fraud and even racketeering. The effort paid off. At the press conference, which included former Vice President Al Gore, a coalition of 16 Democrat attorneys general and one independent, Virgin Islands Attorney General Claude Walker announced they would use the power of the state government to explore legal avenues to challenge climate change dissent. This is the exact opposite of free speech. 4 of the attorneys general have reportedly launched investigations into ExxonMobil Corporation. Mr. Walker has issued a subpoena for 10 years' worth of climate change documents and communications from the Competitive Enterprise Institute, a free market think tank. Mr. Walker also issued a subpoena last month to ExxonMobil, citing the territory's laws against racketeering. The company filed a motion last Wednesday to block the subpoena in Texas state court. David Schneier, legal counsel for E&E, called on the coalition operating under the name AG's United for Clean Power to reveal its relationship with the climate change movement. We call on these attorneys general to immediately halt their investigations and lay out for the public the full extent of this collusion, producing all records or information provided them in briefings or other work outside with the outside activists, including those they are trying to keep secret through a common interest agreement, said Mr. Schneier in a statement from last Friday. He highlighted a March 30th email from Mr. Pawa telling 2 members of the New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman's staff, about a call from Wall Street Journal reporter about his attendance at the press conference. Mr. Pawa asked, "What should I say if she asks if I attended?" No comment. Lemuel Srolovich, an Environmental Protection Bureau chief for the New York Attorney General, advised Mr. Pawa to say nothing about his participation. My ask if you speak to the reporter not to confirm that you attended or otherwise discuss the event in an email. Mr. Pawa said in a Sunday email to the Washington Times that it is inaccurate in attributing to me the idea that lawsuits should be used to achieve political outcomes, unquote. I have always been consistent in my position that lawsuits should be brought to remedy legal wrongs, Mr. Pawa said in an email. The New York Attorney General's office told Reuters it routinely seeks input from outside organizations, but pursues cases based only on their merits. Well, that apparently isn't the case, is it? The push for legal action against climate change dissent dates back to June of 2012, when climate change groups held a workshop establishing accountability for climate change damages, lessons from tobacco control, at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography in La Jolla, California. Last year, a coalition of environmentalists and lawmakers, led by Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Rhode Island Democrat, petitioned the Justice Department to file a racketeering lawsuit against, quote, corporations and other organizations that have knowingly deceived the American people about the risks of climate change, unquote. The collection of emails sheds new light on the close working relationship between the climate change movement and Democrat lawmakers. The emails were obtained under the Vermont Public Records Law. Vermont Attorney General William Sorrell's office helped Mr. Schneiderman's staff organize the event. In a March 30th email, Vermont Assistant Attorney General Scott Klein recommended changing the name of the Exxon Fossil Fuel Company Investigations Working Group by removing the word investigations. Not all of the states have yet opened a formal investigation. There is some sensitivity here, and I suspect in some other states, to saying or indicating we have. Yeah, you think? He also recommended removing the word progressive from the Climate Coalition of Attorneys General pledge, which originally stated, "We pledge to work together to fully enforce state and federal laws that require progressive action on climate change and that prohibits false and misleading statements to the public, consumers, and investors regarding climate change." Right down to the faux sober oath. This is fascism. Pure and simple. Elsewhere, Mr. Klein objects to an effort by Mr. Schneiderman's office to enter into a common interest agreement that would enable the coalition's communications, including those with outside groups, to be protected by privilege and thus exempt from public disclosure laws. Just how slimy can this be? If you don't buy into the fact that somehow being a 3 or 4 degrees warmer is going to kill everybody, they're going to come after you legally? Are you kidding me? Our thought has been that anyone providing anything in writing at the conference should assume that it may get produced because of some state's public records law. Matt and Peter should stick to what is in the public domain or be prepared to have those materials become public. Mr. Schneider said the emails show Schneiderman's office suggested their outside activist green allies deceive the press. Meanwhile, attorneys general in his coalition have subpoenaed at least one policy group's correspondence with the media. You can't do that. His reference, by the way, was to the Competitive Enterprise Institute. Joining Mr. Schneiderman, Mr. Sorrell, and Mr. Walker at the press conference were Attorneys General George Jepsen of Connecticut, Brian E. Frosch of Maryland, Maura Healey of Massachusetts, and Mark Herring of Virginia. As we all know, global warming, if not reversed, will be catastrophic for our planet, said Mr. Sorrell. We, the states, have a role to play in this endeavor and intend to do our part. That's perfectly fine if you're not an attorney general. But to use the law to forward a political agenda is obscene. Republican attorneys general, for their part, have called the coalition's effort an attack on free speech. That's because it's an attack on free speech. This scientific and political debate is healthy. It should be encouraged, according to a March 30th joint statement by Attorneys General Scott Pruitt of Oklahoma and Luther Strange of Alabama. Quote, it should not be silenced with threats of criminal prosecution by those who believe that their position is the only correct one, and that all dissenting voices must therefore be intimidated and coerced into silence. It is inappropriate for states' attorneys general, to use the power of their office to attempt to silence core political speech on one of the major policy debates of our time. Correct. Completely. Both Scott Pruitt and Luther Strange have joined a lawsuit filed by 26 attorneys general challenging the EPA's Clean Power Plan, which requires strict emissions reductions in the name of combating climate change. Climate change is a hoax. It has always been a hoax. The people that are saying that there's this broad scientific consensus are saying so knowing full well that all of the so-called scientists that are saying that it's true refuse to be named in public. They refuse to be named in any of the actual paperwork, any of the papers that discuss this, because they don't want their reputations ruined for foisting a hoax on everyone. This all comes down to this. The sky is falling unless we pay more money to politicians, unless we cripple ourselves from an energy standpoint, unless we dramatically scale back the profitability, prosperity of the United States economy, the entire country, the entire planet will burn down and we'll all die. You see, I've watched politicians my whole life. I've yet to see a politician do anything to solve a problem that was a moneymaker. Oh, I'm not going to solve global warming. I'm making a fortune on it. Right. You're making a fortune on it. The whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. Unbelievably, stupidly ridiculous. That we're having this conversation, that attorneys general of various states in the United States would stoop to using the law as a bludgeon for a political agenda, can only be traced back to the kind of politics where truth, logic, proof, all can be set aside for the sake of a convincing, or even not convincing, but successful political diatribe. It's flippin' stupid. It's flippin' stupid. Now, there's no doubt about the fact, that any of these cases will eventually make it into an appellate court. And all of these cases, regardless of how badly they turn out for the participants, all these cases will be overturned after hundreds of thousands of legal bills are paid, after reputations are ruined, and then only partially rehabilitated by those who are found to be purveyors of a hoax, those who shout fire in a church, any number of other things. It absolutely makes me ill that we're going to do this for the sake of some totally and completely deranged political agenda. It's poppycock. It's absolute poppycock. You're listening to the Wells Report. This is 660 AM The Answer.
You need a plan as you get closer to retirement. A plan that'll take you from where you are now to the retirement that you've always dreamed about. The first step on that path is to tune into the Wealth Smart Radio Show, Sundays at 7 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer. You only get to retire once, so it's really important you do it right. And your host, Reed Johnson, president of Lake Point Advisory Group, helps people retire successfully every day. So don't miss Wealth Smart every Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer.
Are you a business owner who's jealous of some of the great commercials you hear right here on 660 AM The Answer? Do you feel a little left out when a clever commercial plays and you wish it was about you instead? Nothing's worse than hearing a catchy commercial from a competitor who is raking in new customers each day while you still aren't advertising on the radio. It's not too late. I can still help you. My name is Brad Ballard, and I work here at 660 AM The Answer. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and I can turn you into the company everyone wants to work with. That's 214-561-9116. It's much more affordable than you might think. Don't let another competitor pass you by. Call me today at 214-561-9116, and we'll get you on the radio right away. I'll meet with you personally to brainstorm the best message possible that will rise above the rest. It's time to grow your business and sound like one of the big boys. So don't wait. Call me at 214-561-9116.
I used to love wearing dresses and shorts. Then I started getting spider veins, and even worse, those embarrassing, bulging, varicose veins. For a while, I covered up my legs. But then I discovered Vein Clinics of America.
Vein Clinics of America is the oldest, largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. And for 35 years, they've been the leading expert in the treatment of vein disease. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring the natural beauty of your legs in as little as an hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by your insurance.
My legs look great and feel great. I even love wearing dresses and shorts again.
Make sure your legs look and feel their best for spring. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation to find out how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call 800-375-4806. That's 800-375-4806. 800-375-4806.
Have you been holding out for a good deal to replace that old AC system? Well, now there's a new program you just can't pass up. I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. You may have already heard that you can save over $3,500 on a new Infinity system with Carrier's Cool Cash, but did you know that for a limited time, you can also get an additional $1,800 off from your utility provider? That's right. And when you combine these two programs, we're talking saving over $5,000 on a brand new AC system that can cut your electric bill in half. But the utility funds are limited, and the program will end when the money runs out. Right now, we're scheduling free estimates on a first-come, first-served basis. So call now. Better yet, call 2 other companies first and then call Reliant Air Conditioning, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83. Call 877-YOUR-HERO. That's 877-968-7437, or visit us online at ReliantAirConditioning.com.
Reliant Air Conditioning. Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
In Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 2, God says, "Write in a book all the words I've spoken to you." Is there a story in you today? Have you ever felt urged by God to write those words in a book? Zulon Press is the largest, most experienced Christian self-publisher in the world, and they're offering a free publishing guide at ChristianPublishingGuide.com. They've helped thousands of people just like you tell their stories and touched thousands of lives.
Share your story and find out more today at 660amtheanswer.com. Visit 660amtheanswer.com now.
Hi, I'm Larry Patterson, owner of Glass Doctor. In our disposable society, we're
conditioned to throw out the whole thing when just one part goes bad, like when the insulated glass windows in your home get condensation between the panes. You don't need to replace the whole window. The specialists at Glass Doctor can install new insulated glass in your existing frames with a lifetime warranty for a lot less than you might think. To see how quick and easy it is, visit glassdoctor.com today. That's glassdoctor.com.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh, yeah!
The year is not so new anymore, but your carpets can look that way with Zero Res. Hey, Mark Davis, my friends at Zero Res just gave me a fantastic carpet cleaning, and I'm offering it to you. $33 a room. $33 a room by calling 214-37-CLEAN. Then, plus 100 square feet of tile cleaning for free and a $50 gift card from Estilo Gaucho. It is pre-treated, clean, and sanitized. Best carpet cleaning ever from my friends at Zero Res. $33 a room. Call them now for the special. 214-37-CLEAN for Zero Res. 214-37-CLEAN.
Learn a little something at the start of your day. The Mark Davis Show. Mornings 7 to 10 on 660 AM. The Answer. Isn't thinking so much more fun than getting yelled at? The Wells Report on 660 AM. The Answer.
Fox News is reporting the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has been systematically shredding documents related to veteran claims, possibly affecting benefits for veterans, according to an investigation by the Inspector General. Investigators with the Department of Veterans Affairs audited 10 veterans benefit offices around the country, found that staff were destroying mail related to claims, according to a report by military.com, citing an OIG report released last Thursday. The surprise audit, which was conducted at the offices on July 20th, 2015, came after reports of such document shreddings in Los Angeles. Investigators reportedly sifted through 438,000 documents awaiting destruction at the regional offices. Of the 155 claims-related documents, 69 were found to have been incorrectly placed in shred bins at 6 of the regional offices. Those offices were Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, New Orleans, Philadelphia, and Reno, Nevada. At least 2 of the 69 documents headed for the shredder. Directly affected benefits, 9 had the potential to, according to the website. These are people's lives, our veterans. What will it be like when all of us are in the thrall of Obamacare? The executive producer of the Wells Report is Vicki Steifer. Technical director, conductor of the Wells Report Orchestra is Magic Matt Swinney. My name is Jon-David Wells. God bless you. We'll see you again tomorrow for another edition of the Wells Report.
You know it's coming. Triple-digit temperatures in Texas. Hey, Mark Davis and my friends at Walker AC. Think your air conditioning unit can handle that? If your AC is 10 to 15 years old, experts say it's just a matter of time before that thing is going to fail. Why wait for it to die? This spring, catch great deals with Trane's early bird sale now through May 30th. Buy a qualifying system from Walker Air Conditioning and Heating. Get special financing till January 2021. Or choose a trade-in allowance of up to $1,000. Plus, get the exceptional service and reliability you only get from a trained dealer. Call Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER, for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions, subject to credit approval. That number again, 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER. Save now. Trane's early bird sale. Walker Air Conditioning and Heating, WalkerAC.com. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. They're my air conditioning company. Walker AC and Heating and Trane, because remember, it's hard to stop a train. 972-4-WALKER, 972-4-WALKER, WalkerAC.com.
Think you're fat? You might just be bloated. Find out by calling now for a free trial of New Biotics, the new breakthrough that flattens bloated bellies fast. For a free trial, call 1-800-988-5994. Strict limit of 1 per household.
I used to be plagued by potbelly and constant bloating. After taking New Biotics, my belly flattened and continues to get flatter. My sense of bloating and discomfort is gone.
If you've got a big belly, you might not be fat. You might just be bloated. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. If your belly flattening results are too dramatic, simply reduce use to every other day. Think you might be bloated? See how much flatter New Biotics makes your belly. But hurry, call now for details while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-988-5994. That's 1-800-988-5994. 1-800-988-5994.
What is Pink Impact?
Last year, Elaine Fisher spoke on being a light in dark places, even if you don't want to be there.
And during that message, I heard God shouting out my calling, be a light.
Being a light where all I saw was darkness.
Be a light.
That's my Pink Impact story.
Pink Impact, May 13th and 14th at the Fort Worth Convention Center with Priscilla Shire, Christine Kane, Charlotte Gamble, and Worship with Carrie Job. Get your tickets now at pinkimpact.com. That's pinkimpact.com.
660 AM The Answer. KSKY Balch Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth. The official radio station of Decision 2016. The most important election of our lifetime.
Fox News Radio, I'm Rich Dennison. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump taking several shots at Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton ahead of Tuesday's primary in New York.
We're going to win, and we're going to beat crooked Hillary so badly that your heads will spin.
Both Trump and Clinton leading in polling in New York. Saturday's earthquake along Ecuador's coast has killed more than 400 and left about 2,500 injured. Rescue crews hampered by aftershocks as they try to get to possible survivors in destroyed buildings. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says more than half his state remains under flood warnings, and rescue crews have been busy.
There have been well over 1,000 water rescues, which is the most I've ever seen in the state of Texas. It's remarkable.
More than a foot of rain has fallen in the Houston area in the past day or so. 5 deaths blamed on that flooding. Fox News, we report, you decide.
660 AM The Answer. The Michael Medved Show.
The Republican frontrunner has just come up with a brilliant new nickname for Hillary Clinton that is meant to damage and